Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. Is she pregnant?
You ask us to reach out to the father.
Yes.
Sent me fake ultrasound pictures.
He's a pathological liar.
Or is she lying?
Would you like our nurse to confirm it and send it to him?
I guess I don't know why it's really an issue.
You haven't been fully forthcoming with us.
I'm going to end this because I don't.
No. You need to listen to me.
No, I don't.
A volatile guest.
I am through being manipulated by
I'm
you.
not trying to manipulate.
Then sit down and talk to me.
A pivotal question.
I've counted 8 different men that you have manipulated with pregnancy claims. Are you pregnant?
Yes, I am.
Will you take a pregnancy test? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'm trying to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Yesterday, we began unraveling an unbelievable story of deception and betrayal. It all began with an email from a woman named Brittany who wrote to me saying she was devastated after finding out her boyfriend, whose baby she's carrying, was leading a double life. But as we began digging deeper into her story, we discovered that Brittany wasn't telling us the whole story. Instead, what we uncovered were headline after headline documenting Brittany's alleged history of harassing men for revenge, money, fabricating pregnancies, births, and infant deaths, seemingly leaving at least 8 men in her wake. Now, Brittany had no idea what we had uncovered, and so she was backstage not listening as I spoke to her former friends, Randy and Haley. The stories they told us were shocking. I have to tell you, this was a tangled web of lies. And Brittany was weaving these to victimize these guys. And we were in the middle of this story finding all of this out. Take a look.
Prosecutors say she used her fake pregnancy as the reason she couldn't go to jail for violating a restraining order.
Brittany is constantly telling lies. If she's telling you that she's pregnant right now, do not believe a word she's saying. It's not true. The more she tells people that she's pregnant, the more she believes it.
You believed what she was telling you, correct?
Absolutely. When I met her, she was having twin babies with a doctor.
She actually shows you a sonogram.
Oh yeah, we picked out baby names and she said she was gonna get him for a lot of money and her child support checks will be huge. Brittany is constantly setting up men and making them believe that she's pregnant by them. Brittany finds men on dating websites. She will wind up sleeping with these men. One time, she tells them that she's pregnant, harasses them, extorts money from them, and these men give it to her.
Let's talk about some of the history of the men. Man 1, he filed harassment and a restraining petition against her. Man 2, married, claimed pregnant with his child. Man number 3, pregnant with his twin. Man number 4.
She entered my home, as a roommate. Within a few weeks of being a roommate, basically she forced herself upon me and started with lies and pregnancy and ultimately in a restraining order. She definitely needs some major psychotic help.
Did you confront her about this?
I did not. I cut her off completely.
When I first met Brittany, she told me that she had just delivered stillborn twins. Brittany showed me a picture of her actually holding 2 stillborn babies in her arms in a hospital bed.
She asked you to give her a statement supporting the fact that she had been pregnant.
Yeah.
I was aware of the pregnancies because I saw the picture of her holding 2 stillborn babies.
Brittany took the notarized papers, changed all the words, but kept my signature and the notarization. I was livid. I found out that Brittany was never pregnant and never actually had these twins. She took a picture from another woman and photoshopped her own face on it.
You're aware of 5 men that she claimed to be pregnant with. She's had 12 restraining orders against her, and she's been charged with violating those restraining orders on 8 different occasions.
Correct. She had like 7 felonies, and she got off with 2 misdemeanors. She gets away with everything.
One of the things you said is good luck keeping her on stage here, because she's jumped out of a 2-story building and out of a moving police car.
She's crazy.
I have a lot of questions for Brittany, but first, I'm going to let her tell her story, and let's hear why she says she wanted to be here today.
When I first met my ex-boyfriend, everything was great. I was well-respected, taken care of financially, and he went out of his way to do things to benefit me. Everything changed in August when I found out that he was living a double life. One morning, there were some text messages that came in on his cell phone that were very inappropriate from another woman. I learned 2 days later that he had a fiance that lived in another state. When I confronted him, he was nasty. He acted like it wasn't that big of a deal. He basically insinuated that I was nothing more than a booty call. It was like a slap in the face. My ex-boyfriend's fiance and I connected, and we both decided to confront him together. The conversation got heated and he hung up. Since that phone call, he has completely cut me off. He blocked my phone number. He has completely rejected me. That was very hard because right now I'm 25 weeks pregnant with his child. Now I hear that he's even questioning if the child is his, and I've even offered to give him a paternity test. Having a family is something that I've always wanted, raising a child with both of their parents involved. He has completely undermined that. Since telling my ex-boyfriend about the pregnancy, he has sent me numerous text messages saying that I'm emotionally unstable, spiteful, and that I'm going to be a bad mom. The amount of stress that he's put me through has put me in the hospital. He's put me through hell, and I want to make sure that other women don't have the same experience.
Okay, welcome. So, how long have you known this man?
About 9 months.
About 9 months. What was the point that it changed?
It changed when I discovered that he was involved with another woman. He had a fiance in another state. And when he was confronted about that, he became nasty.
Did you talk to the fiance?
Yes, I did.
And was she surprised about you?
Somewhat, but this wasn't the first time that he's done this to her.
At that point, did you give him a chance to clear it up? Did you say, that's it, buddy, you're out of here? I mean, what was your reaction at the time?
Initially, I was in shock, and he cut me off, so I didn't get an opportunity to talk to him about what was said. So I sent him an email, and I basically just said, you know, I'm disgusted with you, and at this point, I don't want anything to do with you because I found out the type of person that you really are.
You're 25 weeks pregnant now?
Correct.
Were you happy when you found out you were pregnant?
I was nervous.
First time you've ever been pregnant?
Yes.
So this was a new experience for you?
Correct.
And how's that pregnancy going?
So far, it's going okay. I had some problems early on.
We were actually going to talk to you a few weeks ago, right?
That is correct.
And you were having some issues then because you had an exchange with our staff member. This was about 3 weeks ago. Our staff member, hi Brittany, are you available to chat today? Brittany, I'm at the doctor right now. I'm having complications. Our staff member, oh no, is everything okay? Are you still able to come to the show? Brittany, I'm having contractions. Staff member, oh wow, is that a good thing? Brittany, no, they're going to try to stop it. Our staff member, oh wow, is it slowing down? Brittany, you sent a photo in the hospital bed. Once I'm done with this medication, I can go home, but they are putting me on bed rest. He said there's a 10% chance after the first onset of preterm labor that the baby will be born within a week. My doc said he doesn't want me leaving town. He's concerned because of a uterine abnormality that this baby is going to be coming a lot sooner than planned. I just talked with my doc. He wants us to come up with a birthing plan regarding the baby being born premature. So they're on top of it.
Yes, they are.
What's your due date?
March 22nd.
Boy, girl?
That I would rather not say.
You don't want to disclose?
No.
Okay. Do you know?
Yes.
Now, you ask us to reach out to the father.
Yes.
And see what he had to say about this whole thing. And we did. I've always said, no matter how flat you make a pancake, it's got two sides. And he tells a very different story than what Brittany does. We'll hear from him after the break. He thinks you're not pregnant.
Well, he's in for a rude awakening.
We can help with that today because we have a nurse here. Would you like our nurse to confirm it and send it to him? And later, I've had about enough of this. I am through being manipulated by you. Then sit down and talk to me.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My stepdad is a sick pervert.
Did he molest his stepdaughter
Every chance Ralph got, he would touch me.
and his granddaughter?
He would have me touch him in the tub.
And your grandmother knew this.
She was fluffing her hair 10 feet away.
She's saying, why would you not turn around and say, get your hands off that child?
I never saw it.
I deny ever hurting Angela or Hannah.
For the first time in 15 years, Hannah and Angie faced the man they say did all of this to them.
That's Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Brittany feels like she was really duped and deceived by her ex-boyfriend because he was, according to her, living a double life. Pregnant with his child at 25 weeks, right? 25 weeks?
Yes.
And is due to give birth in March. She asked that we reach out to him. She said she's only talked to him one time, actually through email, right? You haven't actually spoken to him.
Right.
Just reached out to him one time. He did not respond, and so she's backed off. Now, we were able to get Brittany's ex on the phone. He says he doesn't believe that she is pregnant at all and just wants her to leave him alone once and for all. Here's what he had to say.
We've seen each other on and off, and it just got to the point where, I wasn't interested anymore. She had picked up on the vibes, and then she called me and told me that she was pregnant. And then she sent me a pee strips that you pee on, saying that it was pregnant, and then from there it just spiraled out of control. At first I did believe it's mine, but then a buddy of mine, he actually pulled up a site and said, look, dude, this looks like almost just like the one she sent you. And it was almost the exact same picture. She just came by my neighbors, went by my landlords and talked to them and told them all kinds of crazy stories, called my work. She got into my contacts and just started calling people, getting a hold of my family on Facebook. I've probably had to block at least 30 or 40 different numbers she called me from. She told my neighbor I had kidnapped her cousin and was holding her cousin against her will. She sent me fake ultrasound pictures, and the pictures don't have any name on them, any hospital on them, any serial numbers, none of that stuff. I mean, I don't wish anything bad on her. I just want her to leave me alone and move on with her life. Even if she is pregnant, do I believe it's mine? No.
Wow. So what do you say to that?
Well, that's partially why I'm here. He's a pathological liar.
Did you send him an ultrasound?
I did.
He sent us the ultrasound that he said you sent him. This is it, correct?
Yes.
He was concerned that this ultrasound didn't have any identifying information on it.
He didn't ask me to scan him a copy of it. I just took a picture of it while I was holding it in my hand. It wasn't anything that was intentional, but he has never asked me to supply him with anything else either.
But he thinks you're not pregnant.
Well, he's in for a rude awakening.
Yeah. But we can help with that today because we have a nurse here that can do an independent pregnancy test, and we can send it to him so he doesn't have any room for doubt or concern about manipulation. So he knows you're not jerking him around.
He knows that I'm not. I've provided him with a copy of the document from the hospital.
Would you like our nurse to confirm it and send it to him?
I guess I don't know why it's really an issue.
Well, I'm just asking if you would. It's up to you. I feel like I've
already provided him with that, and
okay.
I don't owe him anything more than what I've already given him.
You asked several questions. You said, what causes someone to lie like this? And you had a goal, and your goal was, I'm hoping he will own up for what he has done. He plays the victim. That was your goal. For him to step up.
Well, and if he needs help, I want him to get help, because the lies that he tells and the things that he does to people are not normal.
Be me for a minute, okay? You don't have to shave your head or anything, but be me for a minute. What do you think makes somebody make up lies and fabricate stories?
Well, there's a couple conclusions that I've come to. It's either, one, it's a learned behavior. 2, it's a mental health issue. Or 3, it's an addiction, and it's something that they thrive out of doing that to people.
Mm-hmm. What do you think the impact is?
I don't think that he's got any respect for any woman's worth, and I don't think that he cares what he does to other people.
Mm-hmm. You think somebody that does that would lack empathy?
Yes.
Do you think he needs help?
Yes, I do, and that's why I'm here.
I'm wondering if you recognize that you need help as well.
And I've been doing that. I've been working on myself.
I'm wondering if, in a sense, you being here today is a cry for help.
Time out.
I'm sorry?
I need to take a time out.
I don't want you to take a time out. You haven't been fully forthcoming with me.
I'm going to end this because I don't need this.
I'm a true prophet of the Lord.
My ex-boyfriend is a dangerous man with a messiah complex.
You put her in scalding hot water.
What's a scalding?
We're the victims here. Do you understand that? I'm a victim of this world.
Plus,
Brandon was acting, modeling, and even had a record deal.
But look at their 35-year-old son now.
Brandon loves to wear superhero costumes.
To prevent crime and to fight coyotes in Griffith Park.
I was stuck 20 feet in the air, so I figured, what would Batman do?
Well, that's just stupid. I'm wondering if, in a sense, you being here today is a cry for help.
I think the whole situation needs help. It's a mess.
Well, but I'm wondering if you being here today is a cry for help, because do you watch this show?
I do.
Do you think I know what I'm doing?
I would sure hope so.
Do you think I do my homework?
I'm sure you probably do.
We actually got an email from a friend of yours who was concerned about you and said that you needed help.
Time out.
I'm sorry?
You need to take a time out.
Well, I don't want you to take a time out. I want you to talk to me. Because there are times in people's lives...
I'm going to walk out if you're going to do
No, hold on. Hold on, because let me tell you something. And listen, you can leave anytime you want, but hear what I have to say first.
I don't want to see the email. Bottom line. I don't want to see what this person had to say. Bottom line, it's none of their business.
What I want you to do is hear me. You're willing to hear me, right? That's what you came here for, right? It's to hear from me.
I came here because I think he needs help.
Okay. I think people get to a point in their lives that are thresholds. And when they get to those thresholds, they can make a choice to go left or go right, and it can really have a profound impact on the rest of their lives. And you and I both know that you haven't been fully forthcoming with me. And
I haven't talked to you. This is the first time I've sat down and talked with you.
well, you haven't been fully forthcoming with us, with my staff.
Because I don't
No,
do
no,
this.
you need to listen to me.
No, I don't.
Okay. She kind of has a choice. She can go right or she can go left. If she goes left, there are 2 current warrants out for her arrest. And we can inform LAPD and they can execute on those warrants. Or she can agree to get some help and we can get her connected with Dr. Kaligi and Dr. Mannion here, who are from Creative Care, which is one of the most elite, high-quality inpatient treatment facilities in the entire United States. And it's very small. The doctor-patient ratio is just unbelievable, and would give her an opportunity to really visit with what's going on with her and try to unravel this. And doctors, I think that if she would ever take the mask off and deal with the what and why, I think you guys could have a profound effect on her. Would you agree?
Absolutely. She seemed a bit exposed today, and very difficult to be confronted with the reality. She had no idea what you know already about her case, so she's totally exposed.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to note that her face completely changed the minute she knew where you were going with it.
As soon as I said, he obviously doesn't think you're pregnant, I have a nurse backstage, let's just confirm that independently. No way, no how, she doesn't want to do that. If I was running that kind of a scam, I'm the last sumbitch I'd want to talk to. Seriously. I mean, I've trained interrogators. I know. She says that she will talk to me in the green room. My goal is for her to not go to jail, which will help her none. My goal is for her to go with Doctors Kaligi and Mannion. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I'll be in the green room with Brittany. You either want to talk to me or you don't. I've had about enough of this. I prefer to help you, but I am through being manipulated by you. Then sit down and talk to me. Closed captioning provided by...
Come on, Duck! You can do it, Duck! Hurry up, Duck!
You can do it, Duck.
IAMS helps keep your dog healthy at every stage, so you can always look forward to what's next.
So the in-laws have moved in with us.
And our adult children are here. Still.
So we save by using Tide.
Which means we use less.
3 generations of clothes cleaned in 1 wash.
Those are Mom's.
Anybody see my pants?
Lasts up to 2 times longer. Tide, #1 rated.
Hello. Hi. You don't want to say anything right now because the cameras are rolling. This is just me talking, not you, so you don't have to say anything. But I want to tell you what I want to talk to you about, and then you can decide whether you want to continue or not.
I know what you want to talk to me about.
Because I'm telling you that I'm here to offer you some serious help. You have 2 warrants out for your arrest right now. I'm trying to stop that from happening by getting you some help in lieu of that. The last thing I want you doing is being prosecuted. That's not what needs to happen here. Come on. That's not who, you have to know that's not who I am.
I know that.
You know what I know.
I know what you know, and that's why I walked away, because I was promised that this would not be caught
That's
up.
absolutely not true.
They promised me this. That was part of the agreement. Andrea promised me that this would not be
Then get
brought
Andrea,
up.
because that is absolutely not true. Andrea, step in. Did you tell her that you had criminal charges pending?
Yes.
You told me very briefly what they were about.
Well, if you think that there's something that you want to help me with and you think that I need help, I'm not going to object to that. But I'm not going to have this talked about on television.
What?
This stuff.
This stuff being...
My attorney specifically told me, because it is a reality TV show and it could put you in a situation for stress or anything unexpected, which is this exactly what he was talking about.
This is not a reality television show, so I beg to differ with your attorney, and I find that offensive to my sensibilities. Look, here's the bottom line. I'm going to talk to you about some things you need help with, and it's going to cure a lot of problems in your life.
Okay.
And if you want to hear about that, then okay. If not, then you got 2 paths you can go down. You can go down help with me, or you can deal with the warrants that are facing you, and that's between you and LAPD. I'm wanting to help you, and that's what I prefer to do.
Okay, so what's your plan?
To sit down and talk to you.
I was promised that this person who wrote into you would not have any part to do with this show. She intervened herself when
You were promised that this person would not be on Polycom, would not speak at all.
You told me that she would have nothing to do with it.
No. Once she emailed you and said, hey, I can't wait to be there for you on Monday to help you, which is all she said. You got really upset. I came over to see you and told you, okay, you don't want her on Polycom? She won't be on Polycom. And we immediately canceled her. She was gone.
Okay, I've had about enough of this. I've offered to help you. You either want to talk to me or you don't. I've had about enough of this. I'm either going to talk to you or I'm going to talk about you. And we can do it either way. I'll either talk to you to help you or I will talk about you. Either way you want to do it. Now, I prefer to sit down and help you and get you the help that will get you out of trouble, or I can go back out there and talk about you. It doesn't matter to me. I prefer to help you, but I am through being manipulated by you.
I'm not trying to manipulate
Then
you.
sit down and talk to me.
Okay, I will.
Then sit down.
Okay, can I just ask you something real quick?
No, either sit down and talk to me or you don't.
I'll sit down.
Then do it. You lied to me. You lied to our whole staff when you came here. You continue to make these claims when you know they're not true. The question that I have is why?
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Ralph would have me touch him in the tub.
It didn't happen. She's saying, why would you not say, get your hands off that child?
That's Monday.
I'm sorry it got heated. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from.
Listen, I want you to understand where I'm coming from. You lied to me. You lied to our whole staff when you came here. Don't talk, just listen. You have assumed a pattern in life that is very self-destructive for you. You need help with that. You have been through a pattern of claiming that you were pregnant when you were not. You have falsified documents to the court. You have been convicted of that. You now have these warrants out for your arrest. You continue to make these claims when you know they're not true. The question that I have is why? I've counted up not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 different men that you have manipulated with pregnancy claims. You've had 12 restraining orders against you. You've violated it 8 times that have gotten prosecuted. You're going to continue to get in trouble if you don't stop doing what you're doing. Do you ask yourself why you say things that aren't true?
Well, like I told you, I've been working on things.
We know that you have made misrepresentations to people, correct?
Yes, I have.
Will you take a pregnancy test?
I don't see why you're questioning that when I have an actual screenshot of my electronic medical records that show it, and there's a date on there. There's everything that's on there, including my name.
I'm questioning it because
and I understand your position
of these
because
headlines.
Yes, I know.
And for you to say that you're pregnant but you won't take a 10-second pregnancy test is absurd. The only way that you're going to get any help begins with being honest.
Okay.
Are you pregnant?
Yes, I am.
Are you 25 weeks pregnant?
Yes, I am.
So you can take a pregnancy test and prove that?
Yes.
Will you do that now?
When I have to go to the bathroom, I will.
Because we'll wait.
Okay.
When I ask you on stage, have you ever been pregnant before? And you say no, but yet you have claimed on numerous occasions to have been pregnant.
I have been, but I didn't want to discuss it because it's a painful situation. And yes, I was dishonest, but...
Did you Photoshop your face onto another woman's body that was holding 2 stillborn babies?
I did not do that.
Who did?
I do not know her name.
But somebody put your face on that picture?
Yes, they did. I did not do that.
Why would someone do that?
She was just trying to help the situation, and I don't think that it really helped.
You didn't have 2 stillborn babies?
No, I did not.
And saying that you did is what I'm talking about. That's bad judgment, right?
Absolutely.
Did you falsify the birth certificates?
Yes, I did.
Have you claimed you were pregnant to men before when you weren't?
I have, yes.
And tell me why you think you've done that.
Well, if you knew some of the medical history of some of the things that have gone on, which a lot of it, and it's involved surgeries and a lot of narcotic drugs, dealing with pain clinics and things on that nature. That played a big part of the issue.
You think you've done it while you were in an altered state of consciousness?
Absolutely. And I'm not proud of that.
Were you on drugs when you tried to jump out of a moving car?
I've never tried to jump out of a moving car.
Did you jump out of a second-story window?
I did, but there was reason behind why I did that.
If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and you want to watch a live studio taping of the Dr. Phil Show, go to drphil.com for free tickets or call 323-461-PHIL. 323-461-7445. Why do you think these men, I only know about 8, there may be more, why do you think they have felt stalked and harassed by you?
A lot of games of, I'll put a restraining order on you. You can't contact me, but I'll contact you and I'll bother you as much as I want to. It's unfortunate that those things don't work both ways and protect both parties.
But you violated them. You lost the game, is what you're saying.
Under drugs, yeah.
Yeah. Were you on drugs when you tried to jump out of a moving car?
I've never tried to jump out of a moving car.
Well, the police report says you did.
And that's a lie. That's not what happened.
What did happen?
I was trying to reach for something, and I was getting car sick, and I was holding onto the door in the back seat. I was trying to stabilize myself. I would never try to jump out of a moving car.
The police are lying.
Yes, they are. I would never do something that stupid.
Did you jump out of a second-story window?
I did, but there was reason behind why I did that.
But you did jump out the second-story window.
I felt like I didn't have a choice. It was for my own safety.
And the police thought you were evading them.
They did.
Were they wrong?
Yes, they were.
Do you consider this to be change-worthy behavior?
Absolutely.
So saying you're pregnant when you're not, you say that's change-worthy behavior?
Absolutely.
And violating restraining orders, you agree that's change-worthy behavior?
Yes.
Are you on any drugs now?
Nothing narcotic or anything along those lines, no.
Nothing that you shouldn't be on?
Correct.
You have 2 warrants out for your arrest right now.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I understand, they are deadly serious and really pissed.
Okay.
The last place you need to be is sitting in a cell somewhere. You've been there before, right?
I have.
Did that help you?
No.
And you obviously didn't learn anything from it because you continued to make poor choices after having been in jail, correct?
That is correct.
A very viable alternative to going to jail is to go into a treatment facility. I want to offer you to go into what I believe is the most elite treatment facility in the country.
Okay.
It only has 6 beds. That's how elite it is. It's called Creative Care. And I'm going to bring the founder in here in just a minute. And they're willing to bring you in. This gives you a chance privately, anonymously, to really step back and figure out what you need to do to be at peace in your heart, to be at peace with yourself, to where you don't feel the need to make bad choices, where you don't have poor problem-solving skills, poor problem recognition skills, toxic relationship tendencies, where you can figure out why you're doing the things you're doing. And that's what I'm offering you as our gift to you. And I'm guessing you haven't had a better offer lately.
No, I haven't.
This February on Dr. Phil.
Jerry is throwing away my financial future with online dating scams.
She thinks her husband is being catfished.
I would sure like to meet you one day if we could do it without your wife finding out about it.
Dr. Phil has exposed online scams before, but wait till you see who's on the end of the line this time.
Hey, Jerry, this is Phillips. Hope you're having a great day. But to tell you the truth, this isn't Phillips. This is actually Phil.
Dr. Phil. And I plan on talking to you later.
This February on Dr. Phil.
Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
Well, so you just saw my rather exhaustive conversation with Brittany. You may wonder why I had to be so harsh with her to get her to sit in a chair and talk with me. She is very used to talking in circles and not being responsive. And I just simply didn't want to do that anymore. So we're either going to do this or we're not. Haley and Randy, what'd you think about the conversation when we sat down?
We actually both said we feel bad for her.
Yeah.
In like the sick way, like that she's sick. Not that she was, you know, oh, she's finally coming to terms, you know, that kind of thing. We also sat there and I'm like, he's magical. Like, he's reading her. That's awesome.
And I really want to ask her why. Like, why did she lie to me?
Right.
Like, she was like a sister to me, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I felt about her.
Well,
and I'm hurt by it, and I want to know why.
We're really
hurt. I could forgive her, but she has to talk to me and, earn that forgiveness.
Yeah, and I don't think she's at that point yet, but I think what did happen is she did sit down. She did admit that she has lied about pregnancies before.
Right.
She did admit that she's violated these orders before. She did admit that she was involved in manipulating documents to the court. She did admit that she falsified birth certificates before. She did admit to harassment. So she virtually came clean on virtually every single thing that we were going to talk about here.
I'm excited for her. I'm excited that she's going to go to treatment.
I think owning that and admitting that to the degree that she did, I think is a huge step in the right direction from 30 minutes earlier, having walked off the stage saying, I'm not going to talk about anything. So I give her credit for that.
I do too.
She still maintains she's 25 weeks pregnant. I'm very patient. We'll give her a bucket of water and we'll wait.
She has a very strong bladder, I'm sure.
Well, I have a very strong constitution. We'll wait. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a very special thanks to Dr. Kaligi, Dr. Mannion, and Creative Care Calabasas for offering much-needed help for Brittany. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. So long. Well, since taping this show, we received a call from a friend of Brittany's informing us that Brittany had been arrested. Now, after speaking with law enforcement, they confirmed that Brittany has been arrested in her home state as a fugitive of justice after failing to appear in court for violating her probation. Now, she's currently awaiting extradition back to the state where her offenses took place. Now, while in county jail, Brittany spoke with one of our producers. She said she had recently given birth, but would not share any more details so we could verify the validity of her newborn child. The producer told her if we could verify the birth, we would ensure the update was added into the show. She still declined. Brittany also said she would like to finish her conversation with me and promised she would answer every question I had. Furthermore, she also would like to return to the treatment facility where we originally offered her resources. So we'll keep you updated on this ever-changing story. Take a look.
Don't cry. It's nothing to cry over. When you get older, you'll see. Hopefully it'll be dead by that time. That's the thing I can do.
Wow. Seriously. The only thing it seems like all four people agree on is that this family is on the fast track to disaster if something doesn't change. That's why they're here. Listen to what Caitlin had to say.
Rob is a sad, angry, manipulative, aggressive, vindictive guy. Rob has been verbally abusive to me since we met 16 years ago. From very early on, Rob has called me a slut, a whore, anything to be nasty and mean. One time when we were 15, he actually pulled me by my hair across his back porch. So he used to pinch me when he was mad, clipping my arms, my back. It was enough that it would hurt and leave marks and bruises. Rob has threatened to kill me many, many times. The last time Rob told me he was going to kill me was 6 days ago. He pushed me up against the wall and told me that he was going to put a pickaxe through my head. Rob leaves bruises on me. I have one right now on my shoulder. Like he flips the switch and he's off. And there's no bringing him back. It's terrifying when he gets like that. After the fight, he took off to his friend's house. I called him because I needed the car. When Rob came back, my daughter and I were in the car with Rob. Rob was bad-mouthing me to Julie and telling my daughter that her life would be better off without me in it. And I decided to take my phone out and try recording him.
The best thing that can happen is your mom passes away and life will go back to normal. You're going to come to me and say, Dad, you were right.
When he saw me recording him, he freaked out, and that's when he threw my phone out the window. After he threw my stuff out the window, I got mad and I slapped him in the arm, and then I climbed in the back seat with my daughter because she was crying. The thought of Rob killing me has crossed my mind.
Well, Robert says his own anger isn't the only problem here, and that Caitlin has proven to be just as volatile.
Caitlin is controlling, dramatic, and violent. Caitlin is always holding things over my head and guilt-tripping me. She's also very aggressive. She sent me text messages stating that she wanted me and my family dead. Things have been horrible and toxic between us. I met Caitlin back in 2000 and we've been fighting ever since. Caitlin flips out on me verbally all the time. Physically, she has kicked me, slapped me, punched me, and thrown things at me. Whenever we fight, I'm always the bad guy. I'm always put on the spot and made to look like I'm at fault. She definitely antagonizes me to get the reactions out of me. In the beginning of the year, Caitlin had a psychotic episode. She destroyed my tent with a razor blade and a pair of scissors, and she destroyed my paint booth with a baseball bat. Caitlin called me during her rage. She's calling me a loser, a drug addict, a thief. I've seen Caitlin out of control before, but I've never ever seen her snap like that. I definitely need some help with anger issues, but she's definitely needing some assistance too, because she is not in her right mind and she knows how to push me over the edge. Last week I moved out of the house because it was constant conflict. I'm glad I left. It wasn't a healthy situation.
Okay, I just want to jump right in here because there's a lot of stuff I want to cover. How long have y'all known each other?
16 years.
And so you met when?
I was 13, he was 14.
So since you were like middle school?
Yep.
Little kids, yeah,
little
basically.
Kids.
Has it occurred to you that you're still behaving like you were in middle school?
Yep.
Kind of, yeah, treating the relationship like we're kids still.
With your parents, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He can be very unbearable sometimes. I walk on eggshells every single day.
You said he threatened to kill you by putting a pickaxe through your skull.
Yes, he did.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, tell me how that comes up in conversation. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to hit you in the head with a pickaxe.
It's just building up of anger, aggression, throwing things in my face, always hanging things over my head.
Oh, I get that. Listen, couples argue. Couples get frustrated with each other. How does it go from you annoying me to I'm going to put a pickaxe in your head?
Yeah, it's not right. I know that.
No, it's not right. I'm just saying, how does it go from the annoyances of marriage to I'm going to put a pickaxe in your head? I'm not asking that sarcastically. I really want to know how you go from the annoyances of marriage to I'm going to put a pickaxe in your head.
It's like flipping a switch sometimes. It's just overwhelms me, comes over me, and I act out in anger.
Are you going to kill somebody?
No.
When he gets that look in his eye, I don't know.
Are you agitating this situation?
I don't try to. I'm sure I do.
Did you take a baseball bat and go bash in his paint booth?
It wasn't a baseball bat, but yeah.
What did you do? What'd you use?
I don't remember. It was a giant wrench or something. I don't know what it was.
Well, he said a baseball bat. I don't know. You took some weapon.
Yep.
You took something and go smashed it all up. How do you go from he's annoying me?
I hated him at that moment. I did.
Oh, I get that.
I don't know. I flipped the switch that day. I did, and I've taken it and taken it and taken it for years.
So y'all are telling me that this flip switching that goes on, that you get to a point that you lose control.
Yes,
basically,
I did.
Yeah.
You kicked him out last week.
Yes, I did.
You say you just left.
Oh, she wanted me gone, so I wasn't going to make the situation any more hostile than it already was.
Okay, this is a text from Robert to Caitlin. Okay, so Robert, read your text here.
Let's see, it says, "Aw, cry."
What was the next word after cry? I've got a beeper. Okay, go ahead.
You're a bitch. You were, I don't know, probably
a bitch.
Or a bitch when I talked to you this morning. Then you bitch at your mom, then on to Julie, then me. You. You're a piece of whore. that deserves a good ass beating. Don't worry, I'll find someone to jump you when you're out shopping, and you will be tore apart.
And they will what?
Tear you apart.
So, tell me what goes through your mind when you're typing this to the mother of your children.
I'm obviously not thinking about the fact that she's the mother of my children.
Don't worry, I'll find someone to jump you when you're out shopping, and they will tear you apart. I'm going to hire a hitman, somebody that's going to jump you when you're out shopping and tear you apart.
It's words, and words hurt, okay? But people say things every day that they don't mean. Do you say things when you're angry?
Well, I've been with my wife 44 years, and I've never said I was going to hire anybody to tear her apart.
I'm sure you had your differences, though.
Yeah. Absolutely. No question about it. We certainly have differences.
I mean, that's why I'm reaching out to you. That's why I'm here. I don't want to lose her.
Well, why does Caitlin describe her mother-in-law as a sneaky, lying you-know-what? Well, we'll hear that story, plus meet both mother-in-laws face-to-face when we come back. Let's just get everybody involved here.
Rob was having an affair.
It was a fling. It only lasted about 3 weeks.
What made everything worse, Rob's mother allowed his girlfriend to move in.
It's not like we went out and found Robert a girlfriend and said, here's your present. Susan condoned the affair.
I don't know if us more mad at him or Susan for allowing it to go on in her house.
And later, have you been inappropriate with your children?
No more than my father was with me, that's for sure. That's what's lost in America today. There's a lack of discipline.
What you're doing is a drop-dead deal breaker.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My sister has become an out-of-control drunk.
A protective mother.
You said she got a DUI and, of course, had to bail her out.
Only the first 3 times.
An unexpected twist.
This chair is empty. She's on the run.
What does mom not want Dr. Phil to reveal?
I'm afraid she's going to be angry and never speak to me again.
So you're more concerned about your feelings than her life?
That's tomorrow.
As if Caitlin and Ryan's relationship wasn't volatile enough just between the two of them, both of them take issues with their in-laws, and their in-laws seem to be happy to get involved in the melee. Robert says Caitlin's mom is a dramatic, manipulative meddler, and Caitlin says she thought she had a good relationship with Robert's mom, Susan, until Susan did what Caitlin says is the unthinkable.
Last May, Caitlin and I decided that it would be a good idea for me to go to Florida, stay with my parents, and attend welding school. I was in Florida about 4 months before I met this other woman.
He took it upon himself to tell me that he was seeing somebody. I found her on Facebook and I messaged her.
It was a fling. It only lasted about 3 weeks.
What made everything worse was I found out that Rob's mother allowed his girlfriend to move into their house with them.
Caitlin blamed me for Robert having an affair, which wasn't my fault. I didn't make him go have an affair. It's not like we went out and found Robert a girlfriend and brought her to our house and said, here, here's your present.
My parents got along well with her.
Susan condoned the affair.
I would never allow my daughter to cheat on her husband under my roof. When I first heard about the affair, I wanted to put my hands on Rob's throat and choke him myself.
I don't know if us more mad at him for doing what he did or Susan for allowing it to go on in her house.
After the affair, Caitlin went and told other family members things that we considered family secrets. Caitlin really hit below the belt to purposely try to hurt us.
Her response to me was, he was in love, what's a mother to do?
I was furious with Susan. Why would she say something like that to her daughter-in-law, the mother of her grandchildren? Susan is a cold person. She seems to be a superior narcissist.
Caitlin and I had a conversation, and I told her that if she had gone home and told her mother she had fallen madly in love with somebody, that her mother would have done the same thing.
Okay, now, he came to stay with you for how long?
It was supposed to be like 7 months.
And how long had he been there when he fell madly in love?
We didn't know about it at first, so we found out about it when he came and told us.
When did he? How long had you been there when he came and told you?
He's been with us since January.
So 5 months in, he came and said, "I found somebody and I'm madly in love." And they carried on their relationship there.
She could no longer stay where she was, and he came and asked, actually didn't ask me, he asked his father, if she could stay there, or we were afraid he was going to...
Oh, she moved in.
Yes, she
did. She did.
She sure did.
He was either, we were afraid he was going to leave with her, and then we would not have a clue as to what was going on, and he would be out of school. So we thought the lesser of two evils, there we could keep an eye of things.
Right? Break up a family.
No, we weren't trying to break up a family.
Okay, but what did you think was going to happen,
Wait a minute.
Susan?
It wasn't us. He made
Why
that
did you
decision.
call me crying?
I was very upset. I didn't want him.
Why'd your husband?
Right. We were trying to talk to him at the time and tell him, you know, think about what you're doing. Do you really...
Where did you meet this? You were in school. Did you meet her at school?
No, I met her online.
Met her online?
He meets several online.
So you were looking?
Yep.
Yeah, I was depressed, lonely. I was going through time with my dad. He got diagnosed with cancer, and
Did I go do that?
No.
Because I was depressed? Because I was at home dealing with the kids, paying bills, going to work every day. Did I go out and find somebody?
No.
No, I didn't. Because that's wrong.
It is.
Go ahead and admit you're wrong now. Don't
wrong.
justify your actions, because there's no justification.
I'm not trying to justify. I'm just saying I had problems in my life, and yeah, I made a bad mistake.
Yep, me too. Never cheated on you, though.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yep.
When we were younger and...
okay, before we were married, before we even had kids, we were
still,
stupid young kids.
Still, your parents still had things. I called your house one day, and your mother told me you weren't there, that you were staying at your aunt's, and you're actually sleeping over at another guy's house.
How old was I?
Doesn't matter.
I
it
was
still
stupid.
happened.
I was stupid. I did not have kids. Maybe 15, 16 years old.
No, I was older than that because I was driving.
Rob, I wasn't married. I had no kids. I didn't have a family.
That's fine.
You went to Florida to better our life, and you go hook up. There's no justification.
I mean, he said he's wrong.
Yes,
he's admitted
he
he's
is wrong. Yes.
Actually, he hasn't.
Well, he has to us. Maybe not here right now.
A few minutes ago, I told you that. I agree. I told you that I agree that I'm wrong.
He has.
Well, you haven't said anything that doesn't have a but in the sentence. I mean, and I'm trying to... I'm sorry?
I said that's fine.
Well, you seem like you have a real chip on your shoulder.
Not so much a chip on my shoulder. It's just the fact that, you know, people want to put me on the spot and make me look like the bad guy. You know, there's more to the story always.
Listen, I'm going to ask you the questions. If you don't want to answer them, don't answer them. I'm going to ask you the questions, and you say I'm putting you on the spot. Answer the questions or hit me in the head with a pickaxe. I don't know. But I'm going to ask you the questions.
No, that's fine.
And you say if there's more to the story, tell me more to the story. But don't get upset if I don't buy it.
No, you're fine.
I don't buy it. You say, well, I was kind of down, so I got on the internet and started looking for somebody. Took her home to my mother, and they said, yeah, move in. That seems to me like an asinine strategy of life. I'm sorry.
Trying to get my kids to go elsewhere to meet her.
Now, okay, right now, you guys are all living in your home?
My home.
And Dale, you said you have zero tolerance for this cheating and beating.
I do not agree with that in any way, shape, or form. Absolutely not.
Who else in the household has been a target of Robert's rage? We'll talk about that after the break. You say, we love each other. So what? What the hell difference does that make?
My mother-in-law, Dale, is overbearing, enabling, and aggressive.
My mother-in-law, Susan, she's a lying bitch. Susan and I have no relationship since she allowed her son to have an affair under her roof.
Caitlin knows how to push his buttons to send him off the deep end.
I'm afraid of Rob in my own home. We all wait for Rob's next explosion.
My mother-in-law thinks that there's a medication that'll fix everything.
My daughter is mildly autistic, and she is on medication. Susan thinks that I should not be giving my daughter any medication.
I live with Dale. It causes me a lot of stress and anxiety.
Susan absolutely knows that Rob has physically abused me. And if she says that she doesn't, then she's lying.
Well, Robert, Caitlin, and their 2 children, ages 4 and 7, have lived in Caitlin's mother, Dale's house for over 3 years, except when Robert took a break to live in Florida with his mother while he was in school. And that didn't turn out so well, and now his mother-in-law is at odds with son-in-law, and daughter-in-law is at odds with her mother-in-law. I went through and made a list of how y'all describe one another.
Oh boy.
And wrote it down. Robert, here's how they describe you. Abusive, negative, selfish, scary narcissist, sad, angry, manipulative, aggressive, vindictive, liar, loser, drug addict, thief, terrifying. It's no idea how to talk to the kids, can't keep a job, violent tipper, never known when he's going to blow, has stolen from our family. And then Caitlin, they start talking about you. Controlling, dramatic, violent, aggressive, antagonizing, manipulative with the kids, guilt-tripping, too much of a pushover, vindictive, gets in Rob's face and he blows up, always looks like the victim, never admits faults, pushes the buttons. Susan, they've got a list for you. Stubborn, manipulative, a lying bitch, the ultimate enabler, sneaky, major denial, cold-hearted narcissist, looks down on our family, covers up for Rob. Dale, they got a list for you. Dramatic, overbearing, enabling, aggressive, always interfering. Everything is dramatic in her house. There's a pill for everything. And guess who said that?
I know.
Obsessed with what other people think of her. Social media stalker, no life, no friends, no filter, gossiper, and two-faced. Boy, I want to come to Thanksgiving with you people. I want to get around the table with you guys. Let's take a road trip.
You're invited.
Good God. Really? January of 16, you say he attacked you. Did he throw you against the wall?
Yes.
In front of your daughter?
Yep.
What does she do when this happens? When you two get going?
She screams and cries.
You tell your daughter things were going to be a whole lot better when Mommy died?
In the car.
Yeah, I did.
Let's play this video of Robert that Caitlin took in the car while their 7-year-old daughter was present. She's in the back seat. Take a look at this.
Don't cry. It's nothing to cry over. When you get older, you'll see. Hopefully it'll be dead by then. The best thing that can happen is your mom passed away and life will go back to normal. She's getting too much influence on everybody's life. You need to bust the frig out of it. Close her mouth. You're out the door.
Wow. You started out by saying, don't cry. There's nothing to cry about. So she was already upset, right? And so you thought the best strategy to calm her down.
No, I was not thinking, that's for sure.
Would be to say, look, don't cry, this will be better when your mother's dead, and she's going to shut her mouth or I'll shut it for her.
That's not the right thing to say, for sure.
Role play for me here a minute. Stand in your daughter's shoes. She's riding along in the car. She's already crying and upset. And she's just heard you say, things will be better when Mommy passes away. And she's going to shut her mouth or I'm going to shut it for her. Tell me what she's saying to herself.
My dad's a lunatic, basically. What is he thinking? Why does he hate my mother?
I've spoken to a lot of children that have heard that kind of thing, and they've told me what they're thinking, and it includes some things that he's not considering. And I'm going to tell you exactly what those things are when we come back. And I think you're going to find it shocking. We'll be right back.
Caitlin's accused me of being abusive towards the kids, but that has not happened.
He physically took his hands and pushed her up against the wall.
I'd put my arm up as a natural reaction, like this, to just block her from coming at me. Her shirt brushed up against her chest and left a small red mark.
He is a liar. It's not true.
The kids see a lot of the fighting. My 4-year-old son, he'll intervene by yelling, and my daughter will actually get physically involved.
My daughter used to blame me when her dad would leave. It's not like that anymore. Now she told me she doesn't want him to come home.
Caitlin has texted me that the kids hate me, don't want to talk to me, don't want anything to do with me. She uses a lot of manipulation with the kids. She says things to my daughter like, it's always nice when daddy's not around.
Rob leaves for days at a time. It's like he doesn't care about the kids. I'm left to explain where their father is and when he's even going to come home.
You know, the real victims of this volatile relationship are not these mother-in-laws. It's really not the spouses. It's Robert and Caitlin's 2 children, whom they both say have seen the threats and the violence and the anger. And while Robert says he's never been abusive to the children, Caitlin says otherwise.
Rob has no idea how to talk to the kids. He threatens he's going to whoop their ass. He calls them stupid, idiot.
Caitlin's accused me of being abusive towards the kids, but that has not happened.
A couple months ago, our son Brian was having a tantrum. Rob got mad, picked him up, placed him on the ground, and wouldn't let him up. Our daughter Julie stepped in.
She came charging at me. I'd put my arm up as a natural reaction, like this, to just block her from coming at me.
He is a liar. It's not true.
Her shirt brushed up against her chest and left a small red mark. My wife accused me of abuse.
He said no one runs at me like that. He physically took his hands and put her arms like this and pushed her up against the wall.
My wife thinks that I physically hurt my daughter or tried to abuse her, but I did not.
He thinks if he isn't physically hitting a child, then he's not abusing them. If you were to ask Julie about some of the things that he's done, she would probably think she's abused.
Have you been inappropriate with your children?
Verbally, for sure. Physically, a little bit. No more than my father was with me, that's for sure. That's what's lost in America today is discipline without the abuse. I mean, a lot of people take it too far and take it to abuse, but there's a lack of discipline for sure.
How'd those red marks get on her chest? Don't be defensive. Just tell me how they got.
She charged at me, and as a natural reaction, she was headed towards my groin area, and I put my arm up. And yeah, I did a little bit more than just push her off. I kind of held her up against the wall because I didn't want her to flail at me and hit me, because when she gets in her fits, she can be pretty damaging for a little girl.
What you're doing is a drop-dead deal breaker. Mm-hmm. And I've said to the 2 of you, you say, we love each other. And I say, so what? What the hell difference does that make? So you love each other. What the hell difference does that make? That does not give you the right to subject these children to what you are subjecting them to.
I agree.
You know, what that says is because we have this emotional feeling, we love each other, you don't destroy 2 young lives to get an occasional warm feeling that you love each other. That's putting your agenda ahead of theirs. I love him. Well, if he is volatile and is blowing up with you and the children, I don't care if you love him. You have a duty to protect your children. Do you think you are a child abuser?
No.
That is grounds for removing those children from your custody. Bang. Drop dead.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My sister has become an out-of-control drunk.
A protective mother.
You said she got a DUI and, of course, had to bail her out.
But only the first 3 times.
An unexpected twist.
this chair is empty. She's on the run.
What does Mom not want Dr. Phil to reveal?
I'm afraid she's going to be angry and never speak to me again.
So you're more concerned about your feelings than her life?
That's tomorrow.
Do you think you are a child abuser?
No. When I put them in that situation, I guess so.
Oh, well, let me tell you, the definition of child abuse includes neglect. And neglect is defined in part is if you fail to keep your children out of harm's way. If you know there is danger, you know there's volatility, you know that those children are in danger, and you fail to remove them from that situation, that is a definition of negligence. I'm trained in forensic psychology. I have worked as an officer of the court. I am telling you that is negligence. That is negligence. You owe the children better than that. And I don't say that because I believe that you want to go home and abuse your children physically, although you went too far with her on that point. I think that was reflexive. I don't think she cares why it happened. It just did. I think you are mentally and emotionally abusive with your children. When you say, boy, when your mom's dead, things will be better, that is grounds for removing those children from your custody. Bang, drop dead. Deal over. Deal over. And that is abuse. My wife, Robin, has a foundation, When Georgia Smiled. It is devoted solely, singularly, totally to the support of victims, men and women, of domestic violence and their children. And she's developed protocols for this that are used in schools and churches and individually throughout the United States. She's been recognized by the United Nations, on the floor of Congress, I mean, everywhere, for her leadership in this area. What's happening here, it's called the Aspire Initiative. What's happened here, this is clearly abuse. True?
True.
On both of their parts.
Yes, both of them are guilty of it, yes.
I said I was going to tell you some things that your daughter is thinking that you don't know she's thinking. You said that she's thinking, you know, wow, I hope this doesn't happen, and my dad's a lunatic, etc. You know what else she's thinking? She's thinking two basic things that you're not considering. Number one, she's thinking, somehow this is my fault.
She said that.
And she does blame herself a lot.
How do I know that? And you own that.
Yeah, I do.
How do you feel about that?
Terrible. Heartbroken. That's my baby.
And the other thing she's thinking is my world could come crashing down at any second. Because to her, her parents are like an island out in the middle of the ocean. And to the extent she feels safe and secure, she can get off the island and swim out a little ways. And if she knows that island's going to be there, she can swim a little further because she knows she can always come back. But if she thinks it's not secure, she can go out a little ways and turn around and it's gone and she's just adrift. And when it's volatile, when she doesn't know from 1 minute to the next, 1 day to the next, whether it's just going to all blow up and be gone, then she never develops the self-esteem, never the self-confidence, never the self-worth to go out into the world and feel confident because she knows she has a solid base of operations that she can always go back to. Because she never knows when you two are going to blow it the hell up. Would you die for your children?
Any day.
The real question is, will you live for them?
That's what I have to start doing.
Will you change your life for those children? With 9 people in the house, is it any wonder this volatile situation is coming to the head? I'm going to tell you what the danger is, and I'm going to tell you that I have one singular goal when we come back.
Rob went to court last week for the resisting arrest charge. There's a protection order in place. He's not allowed to make me feel threatened in any way.
At any time where they feel threatened or harassed, I can be sent back to jail. Dale and Caitlin always hold the order of protection over my head.
He doesn't care at all about a protection order. It's a piece of paper.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. We're ready to start the show, but we're waiting on you. If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping of the Dr. Phil Show, call 323-461-PHIL or visit drphil.com. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon.
The other day, Caitlin said to me she thought it was time to get a divorce, and I told her let's wait and go on Dr. Phil and see what Dr. Phil has to say about it. Doing this show is our last resort. If Rob doesn't take Dr. Phil's advice, then maybe it is time to walk away.
Well, the good news is Robert's going to take my advice. I know that. The truth is you're experiencing a lot of pain and a lot of fear.
Definitely.
And everybody judges you for what you do. I don't want to judge you for what you do. I want to help you with what you feel.
I appreciate that.
Okay? And I want to tell you the danger that we're talking about here. Three is the number of women that are murdered every day in America by an intimate partner. 3 a day. 5 times more women are victims of domestic violence, either serious assault or murder, than are men. 85% of the victims of murder are women. And 100 women per hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, are beat on by an intimate partner in the United States. Since we began this show, 100 women have been beaten by an intimate partner. Spouse, live-in boyfriend, whatever. So over the years, we've had a lot of women who have been horribly abused that have been on this stage and lived to tell about it.
Tries to get away from the father of her child minutes before he sets her on fire.
He beat her so badly, her mother did not recognize her.
Every bone in my face had been broken. My face was ripped from the bone. He bit my ear off.
Tossed her around, choked her, headbutted her.
Why don't you just get a divorce and leave?
Because she's my soulmate.
I opened the door. He had a butcher knife in his hand. I didn't even really realize that I had lost my eye.
Christopher Haney doused his wife, Audrey Mabry, with flammable liquid.
He tossed the candle at me,
and I went up in flames.
He started chopping me in the back of the head with a machete.
The injuries, authorities say, were caused by this woman's husband. We begin to tell the tale of the deadly scene.
We'll be right back. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
Absolutely. I said there was one goal, one singular goal that I have here. It's not to save this marriage. The one singular goal here that I have is for the two of you to be able to sit down with your children right in front of you and say, I am so sorry for what I have done. Please forgive me for what I have done. We are going to spend the rest of our lives making it up to you. The worst thing that could happen is if you said that and violated it. You cannot say that until you know with confidence that you can deliver on that, which means you have some work to do. I want you to rely on these mother-in-laws to babysit here for a short period of time, because I want the two of you to go away together. I want the two of you to go to a place called On Site. This is in Nashville, Tennessee, and it is a worldwide leader in intensive workshops for people that have been through emotional trauma. You are highly traumatized.
Definitely.
You've been damaged in your life, and you're fortunate that you've got a mother that loves you very much.
Very fortunate.
And God bless you for standing by your son and loving him like you do. And I'm glad that you do. But you need to call time out and put yourself in the shop. And they're going to work with you all individually. They're going to work with you as a couple. And when you leave there, you're going to be ready to sit down in front of your children and say, we're sorry. And then we're going to follow up with you guys having a family counselor that's going to help you weave this into your family going forward. You willing to do this?
Yeah, absolutely.
You excited about it?
Yeah.
You willing to do this?
Without a doubt.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Miles Adcox and On Site for helping this family. They deserve it. These children damn sure deserve it. If you or someone you know is dealing with a feuding family, log on to drphil.com. You can tell me about it. I do want to know. We'll see you next time.
All-new Dr. Phil.
Matthew was a big part of our family.
But then he met Katie.
Matthew and I live in an RV. She told me I'm a therapist.
What are your credentials?
I had some life after death experiences.
Is she treating him?
He has anorexia. Matthew was never starved. That is a lie!
Or dating him?
What the hell, lady? You're sleeping with your patient? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. You to take a look. This is Matthew. He was a Boy Scout growing up. He loved camping, rowboating, hiking, anything outdoors. He was adored by both his mother, Rhea, and his grandmother, Debbie. As a young man, Matthew had the whole world ahead of him. He had a job, lived in an apartment, and was on the right track to success. Well, that is, according to Debbie and Rhea, until he started dating Caden, a woman 24 years older than him. Now, Rhea and Debbie say Matthew is now living in a rundown RV, not showering for weeks at a time, and panhandling for money to survive. Now, they say Caden is a con artist who's convinced Matthew that he's better off living in squalor than having anything to do with either of them. Why? Well, take a look.
Caden is manipulating Matthew, and I don't know how to stop it. Caden is keeping him hostage.
Caden is purposely isolating my son from his family.
All of a sudden, Matthew just took off. They left the state, no warning. Matthew never said goodbye. I heard Matthew was living in an RV.
We sleep right here. This is about how much space I usually get or less.
It felt like a punch in the gut. I didn't know what this woman wanted. She's crazy.
Since Matthew's met Caden, I've only had contact with Matthew over the phone a few times. Caden always asks me for money, and she says it's so that she can take care of Matthew. Caden believes that my mother, Debbie, and I should be financially supporting Matthew. I don't believe that we should because he has the ability to work. When Caden realizes that I'm not going to send her any money, she flips out. Caden constantly harasses me via text messages. Caden has sent me photos of my son panhandling for money.
I have to stay out here until we have enough money for gas and or propane and food.
I do not know why Matthew chooses to live this way or be with Caden. Caden says the money is for Matthew, but I think it's for her own needs. Caden has a project that she's named Mama Trauma Justice Project that is supposed to help trauma victims. I think Mama Trauma Justice Project is a big scam. I made some phone calls to find out who was this Caden person. None of the legitimate organizations that I contacted had ever heard of her. Caden has no formal training licenses or degrees. She's not who she claims to be.
Well, it gets worse. Rhea and Debbie say Caden has now convinced Matthew that he was sexually abused throughout his childhood and that the two women knew about it and didn't stop it. Caden says they are to blame for Matthew's current struggles.
Matthew was a regular kid. Matthew took care of me. He was a big part of our family. The family was stronger with him there. He's a smart kid.
My relationship with Matthew has always been good. Matthew has been a happy person before he met Caden.
Matthew's been brainwashed by Caden. She's wrapped him around her little finger. Caden believes that Matthew needs counseling because he was sexually abused by several people while he was growing up. I don't believe that it is true.
I believe that Caden may be coaching Matthew. It seems like these abuse stories came out of nowhere.
The day that I met her, about 5 minutes after being introduced, it was, I'm a counselor, I'm a therapist, I need to talk to you. When she told me about the abuse, it was like sticker shock. It was like, wait, I couldn't have missed indications. After I had questioned her about what her credentials were, she started accusing me that it was my fault. I let it happen. Matthew believes that we are against him. I'm really hoping that we can get Matthew away from Caden. We want to get him help that's professional, not a quack.
Okay, so it's good to meet y'all. Tell me what your objective is today.
Our objective today would be to get Matthew away from Caden and offered professional help that can help him.
Okay, does he need help?
I believe he does need help.
Okay, you're the grandmother.
I
Why
am.
did you raise him instead of you? You're the mother.
Yes, I am.
Why did you raise him instead of you?
She had some problems when she was younger.
And so you adopted the children?
Yes.
Okay. And did you stay in their lives?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Was this a constructive situation? Was it healthy in your opinion?
Yes, it was. We had an open adoption agreement with Rhea.
Right.
She could come and go, take the kids.
Was there any sexual abuse?
No.
Was there any sexual abuse in your home?
No.
So he was not abused, sexually abused in your home?
No.
He was not sexually abused in your home? And you're confident of that?
I am confident of that.
And did he ever tell you?
No, he has never said a word to me about being sexually abused until Caden came into his life.
Okay. How did he meet this woman?
I have no idea how he met this woman.
And she's 24 years older?
That's what I'm being told.
Is she treating him or dating him? Because you can't do both.
That's my point exactly. She got angry with me the very first day I ever met her. I asked about her credentials. What qualifications did she have?
She has no professional licenses and no professional training that I have been able to find.
Yeah.
Well, she's an ICU nurse, right?
I've looked at our state registry for licenses, and her name is not listed anywhere on there as current, active, suspended, expired. There's no evidence anywhere that I have looked that shows that she has ever held a nursing license.
Okay. And you say that she's fostered a dependency.
Yes, I think Matthew is now dependent on her.
And she's after you for money.
Oh, yes.
She's after you. She calls y'all, wants support, money, yes. Social Security checks, all sorts of things.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What do you tell her?
I tell her no.
Well, she's threatened to sue you.
Oh, yes, she has. When my husband passed away...
What would be the cause of action? What is she suing you for?
She said that she would hit me with fraud, and...
that you've defrauded her?
That I defrauded the government. When my husband passed away, the two children were issued survivor benefits until they reached the age of 18. That is to help support raising the child in the situation that you no longer have part of the breadwinners.
Right.
And that's exactly what I've done with it. State requires, Social Security requires it be reviewed every single year. I went through reviews every single year. Let her sue me because she can't.
So what does Matthew say about this? Do you talk to him?
No. Why? I haven't spoken to him for about 1.5 years.
Oh, why not?
When she started threatening me over the telephone, I blocked her cell phone number. And that was the only way, after she dumped Matthew's cell phone, that he would be able to get a hold of me, would be via her cell phone.
Do you miss him?
I miss him terribly.
Do you miss him?
Absolutely.
Well, okay, let's add some players to this conversation. Caden says Debbie and Rhea don't care that Matthew was abused, or they would be helping him financially. But Debbie and Rhea say Caden doesn't care about Matthew, and she's just using him as a cash cow. Well, we're going to talk about that because Caden and Matthew are here, and they're going to join us after the break, and these two are going to see him for the first time in 1.5 years. After the break.
I have not brainwashed Matthew.
Caden is pretty much the only person that I trust.
Matthew is safer and doing much better since he's been with me.
I have to panhandle so that we have enough money every month for food. I don't have enough money yet.
I definitely hate Debbie and believe that she is possessed by Satan for sure.
I say he has PTSD. He has PTSD. I say he has anorexia. He has anorexia. Debbie,
that child has never been anorexic in his whole life.
You are a big, fat liar.
And I love you too.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
The story you're about to hear is shocking.
A sex slave from birth.
That's what you were born into.
The man who owns me said I was made for that.
Living a life of luxury.
You were flown on a private jet.
And humiliation.
I was kept in a cage that was hung from the ceiling.
Do you remember how old you were when you were first violated?
It was before I could talk.
That's tomorrow.
Matthew is 21 and Caden is in her mid-40s. There's something wrong with a woman of her age who wants to be with somebody the same age as my son who has absolutely no life experience. I think that Caden's interest in my son is very unprofessional, and she crossed the line by having a relationship with Matthew. I want Matthew to realize that Caden is taking advantage of him and preying on his weakness.
Well, Rhea and Debbie wrote in about Matthew, who they believe is being brainwashed by his much older girlfriend/therapist. But Caden says she's not taking advantage of Matthew. She's just trying to protect him from what she calls sociopathic mothering. Take a look.
I definitely hate Debbie and believe that she is possessed by Satan for sure. I don't believe Debbie has ever cared about Matthew. Debbie played a major role in Matthew's sexual abuse. I believe that Debbie is a sociopathic mother. Debbie definitely ignored the signs of Matthew's sexual abuse. It was clear to me right away, a predator cannot rape a child unless the mother isn't paying attention. I don't think that Debbie or Rhea love Matthew.
Caden is definitely helping me. She pretty much is the only person that I trust.
Matthew is safer and doing much better since he's been with me. I met Matthew when I placed an ad for some people to help me move. That's when I decided maybe he might be a good candidate for Mama Trauma. I started Mama Trauma Justice Project and Advocacy Services. I left my home state with Matthew in order to kind of go on a road trip. Right now, Matthew and I live in an RV.
We're living in various store parking lots, and I have to panhandle so that we have enough money every month for food. It's definitely tough keeping up with hygiene. Today is probably about 4 weeks since we've actually been able to take a shower. And you have our refrigerator,
put it lightly,
which we don't really have on because that was last night's dinner. It's Mexican casserole.
You should heat that up, Matt. I'm hungry, actually.
Rhea has definitely had plenty of opportunities to support Matthew.
I feel that Rhea has been a bad mother. I didn't really think of her as a mother figure. Caden is the only one that has helped me move in a positive direction, so she's the only one that matters right now.
I have not brainwashed Matthew. Matthew is here on his own free will.
Matthew, you're seeing your mother and your grandmother for the first time in a long time. How does it feel to see them?
I'm a little nervous at the moment.
Are you glad to see them at all?
Yep.
Yeah.
I am.
I miss you, and I love you.
And there's always, always a home for you.
If there's a home for Matthew, why was he living in a dumpster when I met him?
He chose to leave my house, and I'm sure that he wasn't living in a dumpster.
Yes, he was.
You don't know anything about my position.
I know
or my
everything
family,
about your position, actually.
Yeah, and how do you get that from your book?
The House of Mirrors theory, and that's
Published
why
out of your home computer and on a printer, huh?
Are you aware that you cannot receive an authorship without having appropriate credentials?
I don't really care.
Okay, let me
I don't care.
So, tell me what you just said. You can't receive an authorship without what?
Appropriate credentials. They don't just, you can't just send your work to the people that give you an authorship and they just say, oh, okay, you're copyrighted now.
So who did you send your work to?
The government.
What branch of the government did you send it to?
I guess I don't know. I just look like a fool.
Well, no, you said you can't receive an authorship without proper credentials.
I talked to an attorney who gave me the information I needed to file all of my work under a copyright. And when I got the copyright, they told me that nobody else was allowed to use my work and that it was basically accepted, the theory that I wrote.
Give me the overview of the House of Mirrors.
The House of Mirrors is an autistic spectrum disorder that I wrote that identifies the symptoms and behaviors of children who are sexually abused. And they tend to have a specific set of symptoms and behaviors, including very high-functioning autistic-like behavior, which Matthew definitely exhibits.
So is this something that you decided that he exhibits, or is this something that an actual professional has decided that he exhibits?
Any doctor would agree with me about what I have.
Right, but I asked you if this is something that you decided, and did an actual professional who's trained?
An actual professional has diagnosed Matthew with the same things that I say he has.
Oh, okay.
I say he has PTSD. He has PTSD. I say he has anorexia. He has anorexia.
Oh, you've got to be kidding.
Debbie,
that child has never been anorexic in his whole life.
You are a big, fat liar.
And I love you too.
You're lying.
I mean,
Did you publish this book?
It's not yet.
And you said you can't get an authorship without credentials. So what are your credentials?
I have some college, and I don't know if you can include life after death experiences, but I had some savant abilities after that.
You have what?
Savant abilities after I came back from the dead.
You've died. You've died 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's take a break. Caden says. Caden says she died 7 times in this life, and after she awoke from her most recent death, she had psychic abilities and X-ray vision. In fact, she says these paranormal gifts that allow her to help Matthew and others like him. We'll get her to enlighten us about that after the break.
I have an effect on metal. So, like, if I think things that God doesn't want me to think about, he'll, like, bend my metal. I died 15 years ago. God sent me back with a mission. I can speak French. I can write the Bengali alphabet. I also see spirits.
And later, did you think she has X-ray vision?
Anything could be possible.
Well, sure, and I could be in the NBA, but I'm not. Do you have X-ray vision?
Yeah, you burned me at the stake. I mean, I'm telling the truth. I died 15 years ago, and when I woke up, I had psychic abilities. God sent me back with a mission and some gifts. I can speak French. I can write the Bengali alphabet. I can understand any foreign language. I have an effect on metal. So, like, if I think things that God doesn't want me to think about, he'll, like, bend my metal. The craziest thing that I know how to do is I can hear what people think before they speak. At nighttime, I have X-ray visions. I can see where people's old broken bones. I can see basically the light of their skeleton. I also see spirits. He's like in a pink aura right now, like Matthew's grandfather. He's hanging out. Richard is Matthew's deceased grandfather. I usually feel a presence behind me, like right now. I can feel him here, and he's smoking, for instance, this pipe that he had. I feel Richard's presence now, and it's very strong. It feels like there's a person standing behind me. Richard is adamant that when Debbie dies, that he does not want Debbie buried next to him. Richard is supporting my relationship with Matthew. He's really, like, actually being quite annoying right now. He says that it's not fair that he had to die before he met me. I love Richard because even from the grave, he's been more of a dad to me than my own dad. It doesn't bother me when people doubt my abilities because I'm just the messenger for God. It's basically, well, you can believe me or not.
Do you believe that she has psychic abilities?
I was a little doubtful when I first met her. Obviously, as most people would be skeptical of that. And then I saw more of her work.
So she can tell what you're thinking?
She says that it's not very easy for her to tell what I'm thinking.
But other people, it's easier.
Easier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you tell me what I'm thinking right now?
It's not like one of those things that happens like under pressure. Like I can't really do it on demand necessarily.
Take your time.
Okay, well, it's just like it's just like when the spirits show up. It's not like I get to just pick and say, okay, you know, you want to talk to your dead grandma or whatever. I don't get to just pick. It's more like they show up.
I didn't ask you to mediate with the dead. I just asked you to tell me what I'm thinking.
I have no idea, honestly.
Well, but you claim to be able to read people's minds.
Just not under, I mean, I've got these two evil people staring at me. It's a little difficult. It really is very difficult to do under these circumstances.
I'm sure it is. It's really difficult to do when people are looking at you and they can see completely through everything that's fake.
You say you've died 7 times in this life. And you say you have savant abilities in English. What does that mean? Like really good at grammar or what?
Yeah, grammar, vocabulary. I thought we were here to talk about Matt's sexual
Well, no, I'm here
abuse.
trying to find out whether or not you are a legitimate influence in this young man's life. So I'm trying to find out if you know what you're talking about. Explain this to me. You said your therapy for sexual abuse works in just 6 weeks instead of years.
Right.
And you said, quote, there's usually a point where sex abuse becomes a choice / consensual, so you shouldn't dwell on your bad decisions.
As an adult, if you have a history of sex abuse as a child, it can kind of become a choice, I believe, as an adult. Because adults can be sexually abused as well. Matthew went through that with his
So you
spouse.
say that if someone is being victimized by a predator, there's a point at which it becomes consensual.
I don't believe that I said that, but if that's what you're saying.
You have this Mama Trauma Justice Project and advocacy service. You only have one patient, and it's him.
Yeah.
And you're also romantically involved with him.
Yeah.
What the hell, lady? You're sleeping with your patient? You say
He
this is
was
your
never, it's not like that. It's
Well,
not
what is
like
it
that.
like? I'm just telling you
He
what you
became
said.
my boyfriend before we started working on his sex abuse together. If I don't have any credentials, then I guess he's really not my patient, right? He's just my friend, and I'm just helping him out.
Yeah, then why are you criticizing them because they're not donating to your Mama
It's not
Trauma
my project I expect them to donate to. It's not like that. I expect them to support Matthew in his recovery.
Well, we actually have this in a Facebook exchange, and here it is.
Yes.
Caden says, the reason you think I'm ridiculous is because you're not educated. I am a retired ICU nurse. I am a respected advocate author. Go yourself. I'm smarter than you. End of story. You are useless to society and the prime example of a true sociopathic mother. You have problems so serious that you can't understand normal thought. Do you know psychology? I have taken a very serious stand in the protection of your son, Matthew. I have well-documented proof of what this selfish, incompetent, cruel, neglectful family has done to harm Matthew and his abilities to live as a normal adult. If you want to contact Matthew at blank, you can when you are ready to answer my and his questions, but until then, I'm shutting you off. You are not worth anything but heartache to either of us, and I hope that you want to commit suicide.
She left Matthew to kill himself.
No, I did not.
So-
Both of you did that.
I have never done that.
Absolutely not. My God.
I have never left
Really?
him. I have never abandoned him. I
You
have
never left
started,
him?
I have
You're a
never
liar.
stopped
Were
trying
you aware that
to
she
get
wrote
help
this
from
to?
him.
Were you aware that she wrote this to?
I believe I was aware of can't understand normal thought and a few of the other things, not the go kill yourself part.
Debbie, you starved Matthew?
Matthew was never starved. Never.
That is a lie.
Wait a minute, you weren't there?
I know what he acts like and what he has told me now.
Caden claims Matthew panhandles because he can't handle having a job. But didn't he have one before he met her? We'll discuss that after the break. Some of her perceptions seem to be a little inconsistent with reality.
I mean, really anything could be possible.
But sure, and I could be in the NBA, but I'm not.
I've known Matthew in a past life. We were actually married on a plantation in Georgia during the Civil War. He was murdered by his own slaves. We have very vivid memories of that together. We've compared stories.
The sole purpose for me being here on Earth is to please Matthew. Matthew and I are definitely soulmates.
Living in an RV in the desert with no running water, panhandling to survive, Caden says that is the best she can do to help support Matthew and his lifetime of sexual abuse. She says that Matthew has only been diagnosed with PTSD. She says, I diagnosed Matthew with a new non-specified disorder called Homie in the House of Mirrors Executive Syndrome. It's a combination of symptoms that usually manifest itself in a suicide attempt. The disorder also grants you savant abilities of which you have no training in. You said you're an English savant. The disorder also grants you savant abilities of which you have no training in. Well, you don't end sentences in prepositions if you're an English savant. But Matthew, do you think that it's possible that somewhere along her journey through life that she may have been damaged, that she may have been through some difficult times in her life, and that this may have in some way distorted her perceptions somewhat?
Well, I believe that everybody's been damaged to a certain degree.
Sure.
And therefore, everybody's perceptions have to be distorted in some way.
But would you agree that some of her perceptions seem to be a little inconsistent with reality? I mean, do you think she has X-ray vision? She says when you turn the lights off, she has X-ray vision and she can see where broken bones are by looking at somebody. Do you believe that?
I mean, really anything could be possible.
But sure, and I could be in the NBA, but I'm not. You know, but do you really believe, I mean, come on. I'm not saying that she's an evil person. I'm just asking you, do you believe that the woman has X-ray vision?
I don't know if she has X-ray vision, but I do believe that she can pick up thoughts from people.
Do you have X-ray vision?
Yeah, and I can also see the footprints of people who have been there before, like spirits. I mean, burn me at the stake. I mean, I'm telling the truth.
I have a lot of broken bones. Can you tell me where they are?
I'm not in a good space right now. I feel like I'm being totally attacked, and it's not...
No, you're being questioned because you're making some claims, and if you make those claims, then you need to be prepared. Well, you need to be prepared to defend them. You're representing yourself as a credentialed professional. You said, I am credentialed. I'm an ICU nurse that's retired. I'm an author. I submitted my credentials to the government. They've been accepted. And if you have, then you need to be prepared to defend those.
Oh, my God. Matthew was sexually abused for a very long time when he was in school.
Well, by who?
I was sexually abused by a neighbor kid from down the street that visited frequently.
If that's true, I really hate that, and you should really deal with that. You should get some...
Dr. Phil, he has...
You don't know.
True.
You don't know whether it's true or whether it's not.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. Do you own 91 acres in Nevada?
Yes.
Well, you say you own 91 acres in Nevada that you're going to build homes on.
I'm making payments on it. I don't own it.
Well, there's no record of it.
But you live in a parking lot.
Well, you told us you owned it.
Well,
if you've got the land, why don't you go live on the land?
It's kind of hard to live 30 miles out in the desert at the moment.
Rhea and Debbie say that Caden is a scam artist that's brainwashed Matthew into living in squalor. Caden says, no, that is absolutely not right. It's actually Debbie and Rhea who are hell-bent on destroying Matthew's life. I've got some thoughts about all of this when we come back.
Matthew seemed to not be able to control when he became violent, so I told him if he felt like he had to hit me, he could hit my bottom.
Hit your bottom and he can bite you.
Yeah.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, a sex slave from birth.
I was kept in a cage that was hung from the ceiling.
Do you remember when you were first violated?
It was before I could talk.
That's tomorrow.
Closed captioning provided by...
When I first met Matthew, he was having violent outbursts, attacking me physically, which actually wasn't a surprise. I kind of knew it was going to happen because Matthew appears to me to have had no maternal nurturing at all. Matthew has cracked one of my ribs, broke one of my fingers, he's given me a concussion. I taught him that if he felt like he really had to hit me, that he could spank my bottom or bite me. It doesn't really seem like he has that same aggressive nature. I've definitely helped Matthew with his violent tendencies.
What is the system?
Well, Matthew seemed to not be able to control when he became violent, so I told him if he felt like he had to hit me, he could hit my bottom because he can't really hurt me physically that way, although he can hit pretty hard.
He can hit your bottom and he can bite you.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
I'm not going to deny it because I do it.
I have two quick questions, and then I want to move on and change the subject and actually quit asking you questions. You'll be happy to know. Where did you get your nursing degree to work in the ICU?
I got I have a technical nursing certificate in ICU nursing and from Virginia Mason Hospital.
Where?
In Virginia Mason in Seattle.
And where did you get
I was registered there for 6 years.
And where did you get the degree?
It's an understudy at Virginia Mason ICU. That's where I got it. It was a program that people were invited to do, and I was invited to work there under a doctor's license.
Were you a volunteer?
No.
So you were paid to do it? But you don't have a nursing degree?
Not anymore. I gave it up when I was diagnosed with PTSD.
We don't give up degrees.
I said I had technical training in nursing.
And one last thing, you looked at some drawings from his kindergarten, and we have those drawings. And you said that when you looked at these, you could instantly tell that he had been sexually abused. Can you point out to me the indicators?
The colors mean something. The one that's upside down, and it should be turned around.
Well, we'll think about it the other way around.
The color, the use of brown, the use of blue, the black, it's all a result of penetration. Debbie's rolling her eyes. It's really offensive.
The use of blue and brown indicate penetration?
The scribbles, yeah, all of that stuff. I learned this from my own drawings when my trauma came to light.
How would it influence your interpretation if those were the colors they gave him when he was coloring? Next, we've heard what Rhea, Debbie, and especially Caden think is best for Matthew. Well, I'm going to give my thoughts after the break. We'll be right back. If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and you want to watch a live studio taping of the Dr. Phil Show, go to drphil.com for free tickets or call 323-461-PHIL. Well, I'm back with Matthew. I've asked Debbie, Rhea, and Caden to step out for a few minutes. These three women
don't get along.
Look, I've just met you, and so I don't know you real well, but you seem like a very nice young man, and you really do. And Robin and I have been married for 40 years, and we've raised two boys, and so I always feel a connection to young guys that come through here because I got two sons that passed through your age, and I always approach these conversations as though if my son were off somewhere and he were going through a rough patch, I always sit down and say things and talk to the guys that come through here the way I would hope somebody would sit down and talk to one of my boys if he was off somewhere going through a rough patch. And so I'm going to talk to you the way I would hope somebody would talk to one of my boys if they were in a similar situation here. You know, I think that the chance that this woman's going to be in your life 3-4 years from now is about zero. No comment about her. It's just that when you're young, people kind of come in and out of your life. These people will still be in your life 3 or 4 years from now. And I don't know what all has been in your history, because unlike Caden, I don't have x-ray vision, and I can't look at a child's scribbling and discern life history from it, certainly that hasn't happened yet. I can't do that, and I can't look at you now and know the extent to which you may have been victimized in any number of ways. I can't do that. But I do know that right now, I think you're kind of struggling, and I think mentally and emotionally, you're a little bit confused about what has happened, what is happening, and what should happen. And she may have the best intentions in the world, but so far as a therapist or a life coach, she is blatantly incompetent. You know she doesn't have x-ray vision. Come on. You know anybody's got x-ray vision? Superman's got x-ray vision.
I was gonna say.
When I was 10, I ordered those glasses out of a comic book. They just had those where you put them on x-ray vision.
A little bit before my time.
Yeah, so I was going to see if they worked. They didn't. But I think she's confused, and I think she's. I think she needs to have some help, and I'm happy to try and help her. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
I would love to give you the opportunity to kind of explore yourself and get a grip on what's reality and what's fantasy, and set some goals and find out really where you are and see what you want to do without her telling you what is or isn't, without her telling you what is or isn't, without her telling you what is or isn't, just you. And to do that, I would like to send you to a really intensive workshop that would give you an opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to be really selfish. I'm going to put myself in the shop, and I'm going to try to unpack myself and see what all is real and what all is not, and set some goals and come out of this with a life coach and a plan and get my life on track without any of these three influencing me. And I'm talking about a place that I have great confidence in Nashville, Tennessee. It's called On Site.
I'm glad I brought my boots.
Yeah. This is my gift to you. All you have to do is lean into it and say, you know what, I'm going to be selfish for a while, put myself at the top of the list. And I think it is a great reality check for you to see where you are. And I would like to make that offer to you if you would like to do that. Would you like to do that?
I think it would be foolish if I didn't take the opportunity to get it done.
Okay? All right. All right. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Miles Adcox and Onsite for agreeing to help Matthew. I talked to them before we ever got out here because I wanted this young man to have a chance to set his own course in this life. And that's not saying anything bad about anybody here. It's just saying there comes a time where you say, hey, it's my turn. It's my time. And I'm going to step up and do what I need to do. So we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, man.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, she claims her niece is out of control.
My sister needs to parent her child. Not everything about her is bad.
She was charged with attempted murder.
On probation.
Are you violating that probation?
No, that's not true.
Hold on, you're not talking right now.
A teen mom.
I never get a break. That's why sometimes I leave.
You go missing for 2 or 3 days. What makes you think you're entitled to these people raising your baby? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'm trying to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Thank you. Well, caught in a police chase at 12, arrested for driving a stolen car at 14, charged with making terrorist threats against another girl who was dating her boyfriend at 16, became pregnant at 16, on probation at 17. These are the highlights, or maybe lowlights, from my guest Tanya Dawn's criminal history for the past 5 years. Now, her Aunt Dorothy says all of this could have been avoided if her sister Denise had just listened to her years ago when she offered to move Tanya Dawn in with her in order to go to a good school in an affluent neighborhood. Take a look.
I'm worried that my 17-year-old niece is going to end up dead or in prison. You're hiding something.
No, I'm not hiding anything.
She is going down a destructive path right now. She got arrested for attempted murder and terrorist threats. Tanya Dawn got into a fight with a girl. It was attempted murder because the girl suffered some serious injuries. The charges were reduced and she ended up serving 5 months in juvenile hall. The entire time she was in juvenile hall, she was pregnant. I'm not sure why she chose to keep the baby. I think she felt like it was a novelty. When the baby came, she was like, oh, this is hard. She'll have her phone in one hand and then she'll be rocking the baby in the other hand. She's a distracted teenager, not a devoted mother. We are picking up her mother duties. Tanya Dawn started getting in trouble at 14. She stole a car and she got into a high-speed chase. I brought my niece into my home so that she would have a safe place to live. If she violates her probation, she can go to prison for 4 years. This is a major crossroads in her life. One more bad decision and she's done. I'm the disciplinarian of the family. I'm a hard ass. He sells drugs.
I don't freaking do drugs with him, and I don't freaking sell drugs with him.
They call me the warden. My sister Denise does not discipline her daughter. My niece will disappear from the house. We won't hear from her sometimes for days. She won't call, she won't go to school. She's lying to me about who she's hanging out with, what exactly she's doing.
You think all my friends are bad people? All my friends you think are so bad.
I do know that she's been seen drinking on social media. I'm just asking you, why? I'm worried that she's going to violate this probation because of her behavior. My worst fear is that she's going to meet up with the wrong people. We'll be lucky if they find her body.
Well, Mom Denise says Tanya Dawn is a good girl who only turned mean because other girls were jealous of her good looks.
I believe my daughter Tanya Dawn is at a critical stage right now.
You guys are making me look just so bad. Like, you can never bring up anything that's positive. You have to bring all the bad out.
She doesn't understand the gravity of the situation.
She feels like it's no big deal. She could lose her baby. She could lose her freedom. I raised Tanya Dawn as a single parent in a very dangerous neighborhood. Took her sweetness away from her and made her very angry. She's been in numerous fights. I don't like her coming home and having bruises on her face. I don't like how she retaliates and then it's on. I didn't raise her to be a fighter. I have regrets raising her in that neighborhood. Recently, my sisters and I have moved back in together to save my daughter's life. Tanya Dawn stays out at night past her curfew. She leaves for sometimes days, sometimes only a night, but without a phone call, it's very stressful. It's not okay. It's so not okay. Being a mom, she should know you don't leave your baby. No one's going to take care of your baby better than you. And then when you do leave, let us know to make sure that your child's okay. Tanya Dawn is drinking alcohol. That's enough to violate her probation. I've seen messages on the phone like, let's go smoke. And weed stays in your system for a long period of time. I am worried about Tanya Dawn's sexual behavior. And she already has a baby. She could easily get pregnant again. Somebody definitely needs to step in and help my daughter.
Okay, she was charged with attempted murder. Why?
She got caught in a girl's web.
No, you know what? Don't sugarcoat it, Denise. It's not somebody else's fault. It's her fault. Okay?
It is her fault. I'm not Dorothy. I'm just saying why she got caught in attempted murder. I've always said, watch out for other girls. They're jealous of you, and they're going to come out after you.
Okay.
That's what happened there. Now, come on,
well, no,
Dorothy.
wait a minute. So she got caught in a girl's web, and she got charged with attempted murder.
She got charged.
Because as I understood it, she got a hold of this girl, drug her in a car, damn near killed her.
No.
What happened?
Well, the girl actually put hands on her first. She had turned her back to go with her boyfriend to the car. That's when the girl grabbed her, threw her to the ground, and then the police report says the attempted murder is that girl. You're not gonna have this baby. I'm kicking her in the stomach.
You know what?
That's what the attempted murder was.
Particulars to this case. So, it doesn't really matter.
It does matter to me because I'm trying to find out if you people have your eyes wide open or if you still have your head in the sand, because I have a plan that I want to try to unfold through the hour here.
Okay.
And we're not going to get to the action plan if I don't see a possibility of improvement long term. And I'm trying to find out what resources I've got here for her, and I'm not hearing much resource.
Okay, she has been, this is one incident that she got caught. She's been in fights with gang members. She has been, she was arrested at 14 for illegal behavior. The thing is, Dr. Phil, I don't really know what she's done until I came into the picture.
She's been charged with making terrorist threats.
That's right.
She's been charged with attempted murder.
That's right.
Dorothy, I'm not saying she's innocent. First of all, you were hardly in her life, just at the very tail end. So you don't know what I'm going through out there, chasing you down.
Well, do you hear the attitude in your daughter's voice when she talks?
Yeah, I hear the attitude. I understand
she
that.
She talks like, well, you people are always picking on me. What do you?
Right, yeah. She's a
and
young
that's what I hear you saying.
She's not doing bad out there, but there's bad that goes on out there.
She is doing bad out there. Okay?
Who's raising this baby?
She's doing bad out there.
Who's raising the baby?
Well, pretty much we
all
are.
raise the baby.
I am. She is.
And my daughter is.
And when she's
around. Okay. Well, you know what, Dorothy? Sometimes she doesn't even like to call because she doesn't have to. Anything she does is not good enough for you. And so she's afraid of you.
I know she's afraid.
And you are not her parent. I
know I'm not her parent.
I'm out there with her. I've raised her. I have raised her.
I am her aunt.
Right.
And this ain't going to happen on my watch.
Right. On your watch. On your watch.
Yeah,
getting
it's my
her
watch,
in a school.
Denise. I have earned my seat to sit here. Sorry, Dr. Phil.
Yeah, sorry about that, Dr. Phil. It's your show. We're not trying to take over.
Dr. Phil, I have earned...
No, that was just 5 minutes of my life I can't get back. Do y'all understand that while you're both talking, neither one of you could be hearing what the other's saying? You're just both talking?
You're right.
Just driving by. I just did a drive-by on this.
Yeah.
And here's what I see. There's a 79-year-old grandfather at home, right?
Yes.
Great guy.
She leaves the baby
She'll take off in the afternoon and just...
Leave there with a 79-year-old to take care of the baby. Yeah. Okay. So you're defensive about your daughter.
Yes, I am.
She's your daughter. I mean, come on.
Yes, it's my daughter. No matter what,
parents are going to be defensive and try to put the best spin on it.
Right.
But there comes a point where you got to call it what it is.
Right. Right.
And I'm trying to look at the history here. I go back, we ask y'all a lot of questions, right?
Yeah,
we did a longitudinal history, a cross-sectional history, a medical history.
Right.
We did all of these things to find out what's going on. So I wanted to see who raised her, who raised Tanya Dawn.
I raised her.
I looked at all of this role modeling. 9-year-old mom left, took everything. You're raised by the dad, no guidance, no curfew, 7th grade dropout, right?
Right.
Lived on the beach for 20 years.
Not in the same bathing suit, but...
Yeah, lived in the hood. Expensive drugs with Dorothy. Wrong crowd, drug users, 18-year-old jail for drugs. Driving suspended license, driving under the influence, kidnapped a child, sex for money, probation multiple times, no career, 4 kids from 4 different fathers.
Right.
Neglectful parents, CPS gets involved. So that's who raised her.
Exactly.
And so you want to argue about how to parent.
I'm trying to make right with her.
Well, coming up, Dorothy says her niece is always on the phone and is too busy to parent her own child. Well, we'll talk about that when we meet her after the break.
I do want my aunt to leave me the hell alone. My aunt nags me all the time. She's always on my case. She's just like so negative. Every time she gets in my face, freaking over here spitting in my face, like it's so annoying. She thinks she's like the boss of the house.
And later, what do you say to yourself when you go missing for 2 or 3 days?
Well,
nothing.
No one's talking to you.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. He married an international bride, then moved in with Mom.
I have a wacko mother.
You're 71 years old. What are you doing living with your mother?
You ask it to me when I come. I never asked you to come.
You are a liar, Mother. She has hurt people her whole life. You weren't even faithful to Dad.
All lies.
You have no brains.
All new Dr. Phil.
Hey, Mom, am I still in the will?
Absolutely not.
That's tomorrow.
I believe Denise is an enabler. Tanya Dawn walks all over her mom. There's no consequences for Tanya Dawn's behavior.
She doesn't go to school and take the baby. Oh, well, she does, but she missed 1 or 2 days.
She needs to set boundaries. I've never even seen Denise ground her daughter. If Denise can't stand up to her daughter and discipline her, there's going to be big regrets.
She's never seen her ground her daughter. Okay, attempted murder, you're grounded.
Exactly. She hasn't been there. She hasn't been there raised up. I have grounded her. You haven't been there.
She was gone for 3 days.
For 3 days.
I was at a garage. I get back. I find out she came home. I'm like, well, where is she?
Well, let's hear what she has to say. Dorothy says her niece Tanya Dawn refuses to follow the rules and may be in danger of going back to jail if she violates the terms of her probation. Tanya Dawn says Dorothy is wrong about her and needs to stop nagging.
I have done bad things in the past, and those days are over. My aunt thinks I'm hanging out with gangbangers, but she's never seen that. I'm not hanging out with gangbangers.
You don't bring any of these people over, so
I never
that tells me right there that these people got to be really bad.
I was arrested for getting in a fight, but all I was doing was protecting myself and my child because I was pregnant. She wanted to be with my kid's father. I hit her. She was pulling all over my hair, so I just started fighting back. She lied and said I tried to run her over, but I didn't. I ended up spending 5 months in juvenile hall. I hated it. Since I've been out, I've been trying to get my life back together. I haven't been doing the same things that I used to do. I think I'm improving. Dude, I'm trying. Oh my God. I'm not violating my probation. I haven't done any drugs. I've drank in the past, but I'm trying to be a better mother for my child, so I haven't been drinking recently. I do want my aunt to leave me the hell alone. My aunt nags me all the time. She's always on my case. She's just so negative. Every time she gets in my face, freaking over here spitting in my face, it's so annoying. She does piss me off. She thinks she's the boss of the house. She even tries to boss my mom around. Living with my family doesn't work for me anymore. I can't wait to get out of my house and have my own life. It's been dysfunctional forever.
Son.
Really?
Okay?
Really?
I'm here
Okay.
Because what my mother would want me to freaking do for you.
You don't know what I'm doing?
Okay, stop.
All right.
No.
Stop.
You don't know what I'm doing.
Stop.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem.
Stop talking. Hello.
Hi.
Dr. Phil.
Hi.
You just came out here, didn't even acknowledge me, and started throwing bombs all over the...
She doesn't even know what she's talking about.
Don't interrupt me when I'm talking to you. Don't interrupt me when I'm talking to you.
Okay, go.
We clear?
Yep.
I'm not asking your permission.
All right.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
So, are you on probation now?
Yes, I am.
Are you violating that probation?
No.
Is that true?
No, that's not true.
I think I'm doing good.
3 days missing? Don't come home for 3 days?
This is the past.
Past?
Okay?
2 weeks ago. Past.
No.
That's the past? Two weeks
Stop
ago.
yelling.
This is like a month ago,
Stop
and you know
yelling.
what? I'm trying, okay?
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. Do not throw bombs on my stage, or you're out of here.
I'm out of here?
That's right. And if you want to be out of here, you can go just where you came, because let me tell you something. I'm involved in this at this point, and I am a mandated reporter. And from what I understand, you are in violation of your probation. And we're either going to do something to fix that, or I'm calling your probation officer and telling them you're in violation of your reporter, because I'm required by law to do that.
Can I talk now?
You can talk if you can keep a civil tongue in your mouth, and if you can't, then no.
So look, she thinks I'm doing drugs and I am hanging out with gangbangers and I'm doing just the worst, right?
Your manipulation of your little goody two-shoes, you are sneakier than a magician.
I am talking, Dorothy.
You are sneakier than a magician.
No, let her go. Let her go.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Let her go.
No.
Go ahead. Let her talk. Let her talk.
So look, you just bring up the past about everything, right? So you're so negative. Like I try and show you, and it's never good enough. So you know what? What makes me want to try? What's going to give me that motivation?
Hold it.
What's going to give me that motivation to try?
And you know what? I don't want you to lose your son. How about that? Is that enough reason?
Okay.
Is that enough reason for me to do what I do?
Okay.
Yeah, and
also,
go ask your mother, because you know what? I'm not your mother.
Dorothy, look. I'm doing
if I were your mother
without the child's father, okay?
I know
hard.
that.
I am 17 years old, and sometimes I need a break, okay?
Hold on.
Sometimes
one person talk at a time.
I get it.
I get it.
I get it,
yeah,
Tanya
you
Dawn.
get it? Okay. But I never get a break. Ever, ever. That's why sometimes I feel trapped. Hold on. Hold on.
No,
you're not talking right now.
No,
you're not. Seriously, I'm not talking.
Young lady,
look,
you have some
sometimes
respect.
I need a
you
break,
hear me?
but I feel trapped. That's why sometimes I leave.
Your break is not to leave for 3 days. Don't let us.
You should have stayed.
Leave
you should have had a bullshit.
Yeah, you should have, because the way you're doing your baby.
Coming up, Dorothy says her niece isn't supposed to be on social media, but saw videos of her violating her probation. I want to hear about that when we come back.
He's my child, he's my responsibility, and I get that. But sometimes I just can't handle it.
Well, maybe
I
you
know
can't
it's
handle
wrong.
being a mother.
I can handle being a mother.
Sucks on.
I'm still new to being a mom. I'm not perfect. It is hard because I don't have his dad around. It's just me and him. I hate it. I'm 17. I do think that I'm missing out on some things, but like it was my choice to have a kid, so I can't take it back. Sometimes I do need a break, and they won't give me that. All I do is just sit here, take care of my baby. I can't even go to like the park, and it makes me like feel trapped.
Well, Dorothy says that Tanya Dawn has gone missing for days, skipping school, refusing to parent her 9-week-old son. She claims Denise is allowing Tanya Dawn to spiral out of control. Now, what I want to say to the three of you collectively is this, and I want you to hear me out. And when I look at this situation taken as a whole, I see one of those identifiable constellation of factors that tells me this is headed for a very sharp cliff, because you have a chip on your shoulder attitude with very little insight into ownership and how you got where you got. You have a chip on your shoulder about what your sister's letting her get away with. You have a chip on your shoulder about being defensive about your daughter because you do feel ownership in it all. And I haven't heard one person look at me and say, Dr. Phil, what can we do to ensure that this 9-week-old baby has a chance at success in this life? Nobody has asked me anything. What you've done is gotten out here and yell and scream and not listened. And I've learned across time that means we're headed for serious trouble if something doesn't happen to change it.
I agree.
And I'm just curious if anybody is interested in changing it.
Very
now, you want to say something? Go right ahead. You have the
I am
floor.
interested in changing it, but also I am a new mother. I am not perfect, and I'm still learning. And I'm young, and I'm doing it without the child's father. So I am still learning, and it's a lot harder because I'm a single parent. And I'm young. I'm
There's a million single parents.
Okay,
We're all...
look, no one's talking to you,
I asked her a question.
Seriously.
Let her answer.
Okay.
You can wait. Okay, so obviously, I want to, I love my child. I love him. It's hard sometimes, but yeah, I will do anything for my child. I will do anything for him.
How do you, listen, I can't even imagine being 17 and having a baby. Seriously, it's got to be hard +2. I can't even imagine. What do you say to yourself when you go missing for 2 or 3 days?
Well,
nothing.
No one's talking to you. Do you not get it?
Yeah.
He's letting me talk, not you.
Yeah.
You can wait your turn.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Or like he said,
I want to hear
you
this.
can walk off the stage, right?
Yeah.
Go walk off the stage.
No, I'm not going to walk off the stage.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it,
speak
so we can hear what she's got to say, because I know things go through her mind.
It hurts, and that's okay.
Just sit there.
Look, shut up. Shut up, okay?
Tanya Dawn,
Just
have some respect. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Don't you get? Do you see why it pisses me off?
Okay, answer my question.
See why it pisses me off?
What do you do what do you say to yourself when you go missing for 2 or 3 days?
I know, that right there, it hurts me. I say to myself, why, why am I doing this? I know, it's bad for him. I know it's, dysfunctional, But, again, too, I get so worked up and so wound up that, I just storm out. I can't take it, And it's better to, leave him there, instead of taking him with me. And I know he's safe, but I know I shouldn't have left him at all. I get that.
Why do you know he's safe?
Look, Dorothy, look. Oh, my God, do you not get it?
What makes you feel entitled to these people raising your baby?
They're good with him. They're good.
But
and
what makes you think you're entitled to do that? They have lives. They have things to do.
I know. He's my child. He's my responsibility, and I get that. But sometimes I do need a break, and I know that's not the right way to take a break. I get that, but sometimes I just can't handle it. I get that, though.
Well, maybe you can't handle being a mother.
I can handle being a mother.
Monday through Friday, she's to be home, and then through the week and going to school. She takes the child to school with her as part of her class, and they all love the baby there, and she does good like that. Okay, so I tell her over the weekend, if you need to go out with your friends, I'll take you to there. I know where you're at, who you're with. You'll get your break, So
yeah, but she's coming up to L.A. hanging out with gangbangers.
I'm telling her in the future this is how we're going to do it.
Did I see them?
This is how we're going to do it.
Okay, stop talking.
Okay.
Stop talking.
My brother,
Stop talking. If she's doing well, what about the truancy letters?
Yes.
The truancy letters?
Yeah, those.
The truancy letters. Maybe she'll get there late in the morning, and then that's half a class that she's missed.
So what are your grades?
They're like C's.
Gone down from...
They were A's and B's?
Yeah.
They were A's, B's, and C's.
Well, coming up, Tanya Dawn says she's not doing anything illegal now, but her aunt doesn't believe her, and there are some pictures on Snapchat that call this into question. We'll be right back.
You're a gorgeous, blue-eyed blonde growing up in the hood. You had to fight your way through school. I get that, Tanya Dawn. I took you out of the ghetto. Now I need to take the ghetto out of you. I've heard that there have been older men, 30, 40 years old, preying on her on social media. We have all heard the horror stories of pedophiles preying on children. She has a tendency to gravitate towards thugs and gangbangers, and these older men are preying on her for the wrong reasons. I don't want to sit back and wait for the bomb to go off.
Well, Dorothy says Tanya Dawn is lying about where she is and whom she sees when she leaves the house. She says her niece is just one step away from ending up in jail for 4 years. Are you concerned about being put back in jail for 4 years?
I am, but I'm not going to be drinking. I'm like not smoking. I'm not using drugs. You want to test me right now? You can test me right now, and I'm going to be clean. Trust me. You can test me. If you don't trust me, you can test me. I asked her the other day. Yeah, you're probably on drugs and da-da. I said, test me. She was like, okay, I don't have to then. Because, you know, you're telling me.
Tanya Dawn, it's not all about drugs, okay? It's
drugs and drinking, okay, yes.
Drinking gets out.
Look, I'm not drinking,
you know
okay?
What?
I did,
yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I drank.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I did.
It. So you are drinking?
No, the past, okay? The past.
Yeah, don't say everything was before.
Look, I'm not drinking. You want to test me? You can test. We can go backstage right now and test me.
Okay.
Okay, you keep talking about things being in the past. Yeah. Everything that's not happening currently would be in the past.
Look, I'm trying. I'm like trying to change. Yesterday. What happened yesterday? What did I do?
I'm saying, Tanya Dawn.
Nothing. I didn't do anything yesterday.
Okay,
I did.
Well, come on.
I get it.
Come on,
girl.
there is love in this family.
That
okay?
little pretty little face.
All because we love you. Because I love you. Okay.
That innocence.
Nothing.
That innocence.
Not everything about her is bad.
I know that, Denise.
And, you know, you're hard to answer to sometimes.
I might be hard to answer to.
I don't know if you're mad because you don't have your own, or you don't have control of mine anymore. I don't know what it is.
Everybody stop talking.
I'm so sorry. This is...
Okay, no, I just needed that for a second.
Okay.
All right.
Now, tell me what, without yelling and screaming and all the antics, tell me what you think needs to happen for this situation to go in the right direction.
Okay. Now, I'm not a doctor, but from my sister needs to parent her child, not out of guilt.
Okay, that's one.
Okay.
2.
My niece needs to her brain needs to be reprogrammed to think like all these dreams she has and what things she wants to do. Those can happen so easily. She's 17. She's gorgeous. But she needs to reprogram her thinking.
Okay, that's 2.
She needs to quit in criminal activity.
That would be good, yeah.
Quit the criminal activity, okay? She needs to be a mother, number 1. Be there for her child.
Okay. All right, that's 4 things. Do you object or disagree with any of those 4 things?
The only thing I disagree about, the other thing, yeah, everything's good. But the only thing, I'm not doing criminal activity. Since I got out, I haven't been trying to fight no one. The only reason why I did fight that girl was because I had to, not over a guy.
How many fights have you been in, Tanya Dawn? How many fights have you been in?
Hold on.
Since I got out of jail,
nobody interrupted you when I asked you.
I apologize.
Since I got out of jail, have I fought anybody?
I don't know.
No, I haven't, okay?
No, okay.
No, I have not. I've been staying away from people like that.
And I'm not mad at you for doing what you've had to do. You've grown up in the hood. You're a gorgeous, blue-eyed blonde growing up in the hood. You've had to fight your way through school. I get that, Tanya Dawn. I want to take that away from you. I don't want you to have to go through that anymore. I took you out of the ghetto. Now I need to take the ghetto out of you, okay? Seriously, that's what it's about. And you need to start being her mother.
We reunite. I am her mother.
She needs to
Hold on.
I've been there for her on day 1.
Hold on.
You haven't had a child on day.
Look, he didn't ask you guys anything.
You don't know what it's like. You don't know what I go through.
Okay. All right,
you guys can be quiet.
Quit enabling her.
Stop.
I don't enable.
Stop. I'm going to put a muzzle on all 3 of you.
Excuse me, the enabler would like to say something. Dorothy, can you back up for a minute? Maybe I am an enabler. Maybe because I love her so much that when I do finally pick her up, I'm just happy she's alive.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, he and his new bride moved in with Mom.
I never asked you to come.
You are a liar, Mother. You have no brains.
You sound like a teenager living with her parents.
That's tomorrow.
There's a history of addiction in my family. I'm a recovering addict. I've been down this road.
I was involved in drugs at a very young age. I do see that Tanya Dawn is headed down that path.
You start off smoking weed, drinking beers, which is exactly where she's at right now. I don't want her to throw her future away, and I don't want her to end up incarcerated for half of her life.
Tell me, Mom.
Yes.
What's going on therapeutically in this family dynamic to create a new vector in a positive direction? What's happening that, you know, we've got momentum that's been in a direction that has created chaos and vulnerability to even spending years in jail. What's happening to contain that and create a vector in a new direction? Is there therapy going on? Are there, what's happening?
There is not therapy, but there's therapy available through through teen outreach.
So you park next to the hospital, you get better?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, there is therapy that we could go to that we have gone through in the past, and it has helped. We've gone through decision making.
So you're not doing it, but it's available.
No, we have. So now,
my mom has. But not now.
Well, right now she just had the baby, and we are signed up for her to do classes together. Family counseling.
That's the answer for everything.
Dorothy, excuse me, this is something I took on and I'm willing to do, and I've done this in the past with her. It's decision making that we've done, and it does work.
We've done it before.
And it does work, you know, it helps her.
Yeah.
You don't have kids, Dorothy, so you don't even know. You don't put the footwork in it. Maybe I am an enabler. Maybe because I love her so much that when I do finally pick her up, I'm just happy she's alive.
You know,
because I don't know where she's been.
I have another sister that's here that
oh God, don't add another one.
Yeah, don't add another one. No. Don't add another one. Yeah.
Where's she at?
Where's she at? That's good. Where is she at? Because she has a whole different show on the side. You don't get her involved. Because she'll this one will go pull her wig right off in the audience, and I swear she will.
Okay, so nothing's right now.
Well, I'm trying, doing counseling with her. We have that coming up, and I want to do that. And I've been on her. I tell her, you know, like one morning I was a little mouthy around the baby, and then she got to notice that and got up and said, oh my God, don't do that. Well, you know what? No one's going to parent your kid better than you. Maybe you need to hear me yell, because when you're not here, stuff goes on like that. Not with us in general, I'm just saying. That's why people, they're not going to treat your kid better than you treat them. So she got up out of bed and she came in, oh my God, don't, you know, well then you should be here. This is your child, you know? So
are you on probation or parole?
Probation.
Mm-hmm. And there are conditions of your probation.
Right.
Yes.
Being out past curfew.
And you're violating those.
She has. Yes, she has been violating.
And y'all are covering for her.
I'm not covering for her.
You know what? I cover to her to a point, because like if I don't know where she's at, now I'm like one step from calling in her PO.
One step.
Well, I have to, because if I don't,
tried for a whole week
excuse me, I'm talking. Excuse me, the enabler would like to say something. Dorothy, can you back up for a minute?
Go ahead.
I mean, at the end of the day, we love each other. Can you back up for a minute?
Okay, all right, go ahead.
I get to the point where I have to call in. If something was to happen to her, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So I know all that Snapchat and everything goes on. I tell her friends, you need to put it out there right now. If she's not home by tonight, she doesn't call me like within. Right now, I'm calling in, and I have called in. I've had to report her, and I've done it, and I will, because I
called Dr.
She's
Phil.
out of control.
I called you,
She's
Dr.
out of
Phil,
control. We
instead
need
of
help. We need help for my grandson, because her actions. She can't control her actions right now, and I need to step in, and I'm trying to help her.
This is a 40-year dysfunction, Dr. Phil.
So
40 years.
Nobody's perfect.
Hey,
I know.
Okay, you know, can you not interrupt me? You think you're gonna be able to do that? Like,
okay,
just
tell me what you want to say.
Okay, so look, in her past, she's done a bunch of crazy things. In her past, she's done a bunch of crazy things. My whole family, they're just, you know, like, it's dysfunctional, and that's all they know. And I've tried, like, breaking that cycle, but it's like all I freaking know too, because I live on that. I live on that every day. I wake up to that. Every freaking day.
No, I get that's an uphill battle if it's all you learn what you live. Tanya Don says that she has big dreams about her future. We're going to ask her about what they are when we come back. Hey, Dr. Phil here. We're ready to start the show, but we're waiting on you. You're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping of the Dr. Phil show? Call 323-461-PHIL. or visit drphil.com. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon.
I have dreams of becoming a therapist for human trafficking victims, and I have another dream to become a model. I think I'm on the right path. My mom and my aunt, they're never just gonna forget the past. My mom says she supports my dreams, but her actions never show that.
Well, Dorothy says she's not sure if Tanya Dawn can ever let go of her street life. You know, and Tanya Dawn was just saying, you know, I've grown up with this dysfunction, and so it's what you learn. I mean, children do learn what they live. What plan do you have, if at all, to change what the future holds? Okay. Because days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and you look back and you go, wow,
yeah,
my life has been spent a way I didn't want it to be spent. And I'm just curious if anybody has a plan.
And my plan is call Dr. Phil. Seriously, that's my plan. I'm not kidding. that was my plan. Because I watch your show every day, Dr. Phil, and like, I have to work on myself, and you need to work on her. Like, that's my plan. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did call.
Yeah, thank you.
Actually, I think.
Yeah, yes, you are.
And, you know, Tanya Dawn, you've got one path that is a high school diploma and college and buying a house and getting a job of your dreams. You know, that's one thing that you've worked out. The path you're on includes bad grades, drugs, alcohol, homelessness, arrest, and death. And these are very different paths, but you really can do either one, but you can't do it alone. You really do have to have some help. What do you want to say?
So I would love to, you know, like be above instead of under, and I just need some support. My whole life, people have promised me things, but they've never, like, followed through with it. So, like, maybe my family, like, my mom, I'm not trying to put her on the spot, but maybe she needs to work on those things, too.
Oh. No, you're right. No, you're exactly right.
Threw me under the bus.
I'm sorry, but...
No, that's okay. I get it. I mean, I'm just here.
You've promised me things, too, all my life, and you never followed through with it.
Okay.
There's an old saying in Texas, you got to rise above your raising. You know, if you've been raised a certain way, you got to rise above it sometimes.
Yeah. And I do want to break the cycle.
Frankly, some of this is out of your control. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you what I think needs to happen in this situation, because there's one thing that after 45 years in this profession, I've come to believe. And it is, I think, the key to success in life. And I'm going to tell you what it is after the break. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
I said I was going to tell you that there's one thing that I have come to learn as being a key to success in life, and that is you have to decide that you are going to star in your own life. You're going to star in your own life. I don't care if you're a plumber's helper or you're a model on the runway or you're a teacher or a doctor or a butcher or a baker or a candlestick maker. You've got to find a way to star in your own life. This is Michelle right here. Michelle is from Turnabout Ranch, and Turnabout Ranch is, I think, if there are programs in this country that I have seen work what I call absolute miracles, it would be Turnabout Ranch. It is a real working ranch where real values are taught, such as accountability and being able to trust yourself and create values. And I came here in hopes that I would make this experience available to Tanya Dawn. And I'm not going to do that. No. I'm not going to do it because I could send her off with Michelle, and Michelle would work more than wonders with her and her staff and this wonderful environment. And she would work wonders because this girl right here is smart, and she would clear her head, and she would find out what really matters, and she would come back bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and ready to redefine her life, and the two of you would screw it up in a week. Now, what I am willing to do is I am willing to get a hand-picked family therapist that will come in and create a paradigm for this family that everybody has a role in and that you will be intensively involved in while she would be gone and hitting the reset button. And if you participate actively in that for a period of even a month, intensively, I mean really, no kidding, bear down and work, then I would make that resource available to you. But you know they'll blow it up, right?
Yeah, we've experienced it over and over, and I think I heard the same thing, that there is some insight that she has and a hope that she can do something better with her life. But from everyone else, everybody, I've just heard excuses. We'll get the therapist. Anthony Haskins, stand up. You're going to talk to Anthony Haskins. He's our resource director, has been for 15 years. He will handpick and put this together. And I want this started immediately, if not sooner. I want it intense. I want it for 30 days. And if the report comes back that people are playing the game, they're involved, they're leaning into it, doesn't have to be all cured, but they're leaning into it, then we will call on these people with their generous hearts to touch her life in a way that will last. Does that make sense? Okay. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Michelle from Turnabout Ranch for coming and offering this help for Tanya Dawn. We'll see you next time.
I give them cash advances, so for me to owe them kind of seems odd.
You had to suffer a hostile work environment.
Every once in a while, there'd be a low blow statement, yelling.
I don't think so.
Judge Judy.
Today at 4 on WBZ Channel 4.